to leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
party.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good to be back on stream. I 99% certain will be on stream tomorrow as well. Might have to cut the stream a little bit early. Tomorrow is move-in day, and I don't know exactly when we're leaving yet. But good to be back today. Appreciate everyone who joined us yesterday for the audio-only show. But today, again, we are back live on X Video, YouTube, as well as Abstract. Debating whether to get into an abstract story or not. I did see some team changes yesterday, new, I guess, head of ecosystem. And I don't know. We will, depending on if I even talk about the story or not, I'm going to 100% defer to Jesus. If Jesus wants to join us and talk about it, we will. If not, we will just keep moving. But for everyone who was big mad about the stonk brokers ripping up, whether you're sidelined or you enjoy engagement farming, now's a good time. Go get your engagement farming in. I saw a few this morning that were weirdly taking victory laps because the floor had dipped to in the sixes. That lasted for, I don't know. Well, I don't know when it dipped to 6, but I did see some posts, some victory lapping post. And then with not only an hour later, it was already back up to ETH. Yeah, go get your victory laps in if it makes you feel better. Go get your engagement farming in. Good day for that. And GGs to those who bought the dip and are already up to ETH on that trade. It's we stopped with our daily disclaimers. You all should know that I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say here is financial advice. And please don't join for that. Just join for some fun, some information, some education. Maybe an allow list along the way. We've got a few allow lists we're going to give away today, but don't join for any financial advice. That's these are extremely risky assets, extremely volatile, and that will continue, especially when things rip up inevitably, yes, pullbacks are inevitable. Congratulations, Captain Obvious. But yeah, I mean they've already recovered from their dip. Could they dip again? Yeah, but it's they're already up to like, I don't know, 8 ETH, or excuse me, 7.9 ETH, and about 10 sales away from being 10 ETH again. Yeah, Axler, and this isn't a pullback we haven't seen before. Exactly. I feel as if a lot of people forgot about the volatility on NFT collections. It goes aggressive both ways because of the smaller supply, far less liquidity. This is a double whammy because there's a fungible token and an NFT, and so it can this concept. It's not just stockbrokers. We can see very aggressive moves up. We also can see very aggressive moves down. I remember vividly. I think this might shock some people. I'm curious. Don't go look, but I'm curious. Well, first of all, we'll get Joey up here. We got some other requests on stage. If you haven't already, appreciate the love on the space. A shout out to all of our GMers. We got the YouTube chat already popping off. Absolute Zero, GGWP, 456 AD, Block Mage, Mayhem, OX Lawyer. Appreciate all the love over there in YouTube. Appreciate all the love on the X space. I see Dillo. I see Dort. And I should have. That's what I should have done, Dort. I should have just went shirtless this morning. Although I'm not in cut phase. It's still too many arepas. I did no longer am I allowed to have cheese in my arepas during the week. That's a weekend only. But yeah, GM to all the GMers. And if you've missed it, the new alpha for helping get the space warmed up. No more bookmarks. Not only does no one care about your bookmarks, the X algorithm doesn't care about your bookmarks either. So we used to, I believe it actually did used to help. It's now weighted at 0. So bookmarking does nothing for discoverability and helping others see it. The biggest thing you could do to help with discoverability and help boost the space, help let the timeline know we are live, is simply going to the space, which is pinned up top, and then just hit the copy button, the share button in the bottom right, click share, and then hit copy link. It's the biggest thing you can do to boost in any post is copy the link. Like sending the link as a DM, that's a little bit of a boost, more so than a like or any of that stuff. But the bigger than sharing it as a DM is simply just hitting copy link. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to, if you want to share it in your group chats or your friends, by all means, but just simply hitting that up arrow and then copy link, that's a big boost to the space and is greatly appreciated. I think it probably works the same if you're already in the space and you click the link up top. But I know if you go to the actual post that is the space and click that up arrow on the right and then copy link, that's a massive boost. GM Risk, we do have maybe 2 special guests today. We've got one for sure joining us around 9:30. The Spoiled Banana Society founder is going to be joining us, talk a little bit about fantasy football. And maybe another one, TBD. But busy week. Things are popping off. My DMs are loaded with people who want to come on. Also, like, it's a real signal, just the activity. Now, some of this stuff low effort and just low effort derivatives or cash grabs, probably. There's also a lot of stuff like rec traders that I don't think is low effort. It's from an established team. And I'm really excited to admit it's coming soon. I didn't think it'd be this fast, but it looks like it's coming Friday. And so we've got 2. The War Room's got a couple of guaranteed spots, as well as some first come first serve spots. And then I've got, for this show specifically, during the show, we're going to give away a few. We've got 5. We've got 5 first come first serve spots for the show only. Anyways, the here don't know yet. We don't know yet. Well, all we know yet so far is the Rect Pro members, whether they were the annual subscription for $7.99 a year or the $88 a month, those the Rect Pro members, they get, I think it's guaranteed phase. And there's two others. I'm trying to find does anyone, okay, I found the collection site. Sorry. I was just trying to find the mint site because it shows on there. At first I think it was like 0.4 or 0.04 ETH. It's now showing 0.02 ETH, and it's got phase 1 allow list, phase 2 allow list, both limit 1 per wallet, and then public also limit 1 per wallet. There was something else, and this minting in 3 days, 3 hours and 49 minutes. So August 21st, that is Friday at noon Eastern is phase 1, 1 Eastern is phase 2, and then 2 Eastern is public sale. So I'm guessing phase 1 is guaranteed. I'm guessing phase 2 is first come, first serve, or because since they're calling it public, I'm guessing that's how it breaks down. You're gonna have a phase 1 guaranteed. You're gonna have a phase 2 first come, first serve, limit 1 per wallet. And I'm assuming it doesn't make it to public. I'm just guessing. I don't know how many are going to be, but I've seen them doing a lot of collaborations. We have allow list here for Coffee with Captain. I've seen a lot of those on the timeline. And for the guaranteed phase, right now, all we know it's the Rect Pro members. I'm hopeful that Rect Guy NFTs also get a guaranteed spot. And it'd be cool also if they gave Rect coin holders. I don't even know. I'm not a Rect coin trillionaire by any means. That's probably where it starts. Maybe more. Mayhem said there's 1,300 people have joined. So right now, as of now, there's 13 Rect Pro that would get that guaranteed list. And this could be if that number goes up too much, that may impact how many are getting guaranteed versus how many are getting allow list. But yeah, great question. And I'll go back to you here in a second, Joey, and then we'll get back Velian here. And I alluded to maybe another special guest today. The man of the summer has joined us on stage. So we will be having 2 special guests today. Simple Farmer has joined us on stage. For those of you that are just watching the video, we've got him here on Audio Spaces. And the finishing my thought, this is going to be, we'll give away 2 or 3 of the Rect first come first serve allow list spots today to an audience member in the chat. Don't look. This is honor system here, so don't go look. But I have 2 questions. You can answer one or both. Actually, no, let's just do one question to make it easier for me. What, because lawyer said, OX lawyer said, you 2021 remember. I remember vividly, and I think a lot of people forget how exciting NFTs can be. But when a while back I said, Cap, you haven't sold a stockbroker yet. Why aren't you taking profits? And my answer was delusion. I am a sometimes optimistically delusional. I don't remember the exact phrase I used, but my point is, it's very different from 2021. We talked about yesterday, this is season 3 of NFTs. Season 2 looked very different than season 1. Season 3 is going to look very different than season 1 and season 2. But what is the same is it's technology. It's an NFT, small supply. In this case, anywhere from 4,400 to, or actually now it's like 3,600 to 10,000. And we have such small supply, such thin liquidity. Volatility isn't just up. It goes both directions. And things like 20, 30% swings are, is it great? No, you don't love feeling it seeing down 20%, but it's kind of normal. If something's ripping up, nothing is just going to go in a straight line up only forever. Up only is a meme. And because I was around in 21, and not only was I here, but I also held through some of these pullbacks. Believe it or not, I know going from 0 or $200 to 150 ETH in a year is a crazy, crazy climb. But believe it or not, it was not up only. Believe it or not, there was a few pullbacks during that. And in fact, there was about a half dozen or so that were 20% or more, which today Stockbrokers is down 20% on the day as far as floor price goes. That happened about a half dozen times in the first year of apes just going parabolic. My question for the chat today, and again, honor system, so don't go look, but put your guesses in the chat. What was the biggest single day decline, not percentage wise, But in terms of ETH that apes had in year one on their ascend from 0.08 ETH to 150 ETH, what was the actually even making it even shorter time frame? Let's just say in 2021. So not even in 2022 where it went crazy and went up to 150 ETH leading into other side mint. Just tell me, what do you think was the biggest? How much ETH did apes pull back in a single day in 2021 when they were going parabolic? I think I know some of you know, like I think probably OX Lawyer was here, probably realizes. But I think some of you are going to be shocked when you hear this answer. Not only were NFTs volatile, even the top ones, but ETH also went from like nearly 5K to 1900 in the middle of the bull run. Yeah, we were all insane in hindsight. Like we were insane, and the insane ones, yeah, ETH might have hit 1200. It might have went from almost $5,000 to like 1200. In fact, I'm pretty sure it went below 1200, not in 21, but later on. First guess is absolute zero. I would just say that's not correct, but his guess is 20 ETH. I probably should at least let you know what was the all-time high in 2020. Let me go find that out. I'll give you a little more of an indication. But yeah, drop your guesses in the chat. The closest to pin without cheating will get an allow list spot. ETH might have been down to 850. That is just should have backed up the truck at that point. And in fact, I remember ETH might have been $1,000 when I sold my rare Clonex. It was somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200 because I sold it for like 72 ETH. So think about that. Like ETH crashed and people were still buying NFTs for 72 ETH, which was down from the all-time high what I could have sold it at. It was a rare one. So I'm going to come back to this and give you the all-time high for 2021, and then continue asking continue dropping your guesses. OX Lawyer is not remembering, but again, don't Google, don't cheat. Just put your guess. The all-time high in 2021 was 52.8 ETH. 52.8 ETH was the high in 2021, was the peak in 2021. So it went from 0.08 to 52.8 inside of the first 8 months. And a lot of you probably, if you weren't here, you're probably thinking, wow, that must have been like literally up only. It wasn't. There was multiple days, I think over a half a dozen, where it had 20% or higher. I think so now you start maybe doing some math, but guess the single biggest daily drop in ETH terms, just absolute ETH terms in 2021. Closest to the pin will get an allow list. We have a few close, maybe we do a few, but without further ado, let's do this. Let's get through our hands and we'll get Simple Farmer in here. I'm not sure how long he has this morning, but had a pretty big day yesterday, pretty big launch. Love to see it. And might have been a couple of challenges with launch, but one of my favorite things is the constant shipping and continued experimenting and fixing things, and not just break fix, but making enhancements. And I think it's a exciting week for the ecosystem. I'm really excited to see Chainmancers go live. I think the beta is blown me away, and it's not going to do a ton of volume when you have a couple hundred people that are beta testers, but I am really excited for it to go live and see what the market at large thinks. That said, Joey, go ahead and get in here, and then we'll keep going around the horn. No, I don't think it goes away. I don't really think it's a hindrance either. I think it is what it is. I don't think it's that deep. I think it's most people, like, does it affect some people on CT? Yeah, but I don't. It's just like the trash talk and the PvP in sports in the NFL doesn't impact the success of the NFL. It doesn't impact, EPL. Like it's kind of a normal thing, and I think the other thing too is some people do it purely for engagement. Some people really feel that way. Some people are sidelined or they thank you, Absolute Zero, for letting me know the mic setting shifted, but we should be good now. We'll get Joey back in here to do a quick test. But yeah, PvP is natural mode. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and I also don't think it's necessarily a hindrance.
I just think when you're looking at like sports teams as a comparison, like wanting your sports team to win is like, maybe I don't live in that world enough, right? But I'm on LinkedIn all the time, and like I'm constantly looking up like business news. Like I don't see people tweeting like celebrating that.
I don't know, man. Maybe not in NFL. Maybe not in NFL, but definitely in EPL. Like I got
sports PvP is normal.
I've been on my journey recently with EPL, not just EPL, but soccer, football, international football. Euro soccer and Euro football in particular, and it might be the most entertaining Twitter out there. Like I thought NBA Twitter could get funny at times. Man, international football Twitter is on another level, and I mean it's pretty incredible. Like it really, like they really are PvP, and it's like I enjoy it. I'm probably some sicko. It's probably weird. Big Dillo guessed 25 ETH. Big Mo guessed 11 ETH. Meta 8 guessed 13 ETH. Maybe y'all won't be surprised. These are some big guesses. DJ's in guessed 22 ETH. Dobbins 14. 8 ETH. You all are. I thought we'd get like, it pulled back. Meta 8, I got 69, and everyone got to 69, so it didn't pull back that much. But we got some very large guesses. I'm surprised. I shouldn't have set it up. I should have asked the question without giving you any percentages. So far, no one has got the exact number, but I will. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, keep dropping your guesses. After we get through our guests, before we get to Simple Farmer, maybe we'll pick our first allow list winner for closest to the pin. But yeah, no one's got it right yet, but I'm surprised. I set it up to, I was too leading with my question there. Joey, sorry, I keep stepping on. Do you have something else you want to get in here?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I think sports is different, right? Like, like cheering for the college you went to or your hometown team, right? Like that. But like when a business, and again, maybe I don't see it on LinkedIn and X enough, but like I've never seen people celebrate a business not doing well, unless that business was like, they're like, for example, something racist or sexist happened in a business and then that business went out of business because of it, right? Like that's different, right? There's a reason for celebrating like something like that. But like if a business is struggling or a business has a pullback in their stock or a business launches something that doesn't do well, you don't see other businesses in that industry going on the timeline and being like, ha ha ha, your stock is now worth less than ours and you're not gonna make it. And like, I don't know, it just seems like we should, like how many times have we all said on the show, like rising tides lift all ships, and it's like, how long do we have to be in this mental state of like, if I win, I don't want anybody else to win?
So yeah, I agree. And I'm just reading here. I saw TMA 8 minutes ago. I really don't get how certain people make fudding their entire personality. Their entire feed is full of negative takes, why they've achieved nothing and have done bare minimum to help this space. I think that's a lot of it too, is some people would rather just be critics. It's not, it's like, it's one thing if someone's actually want to be critical or provide some feedback, or if it is actually PvP, but oftentimes it's just, they sit on the sideline, they don't make any moves, and they FUD something, they FUD everything, and then anytime something drops, they're going to take it. Well, of course you're going to be right. This is freaking crypto. Like it's insanely volatile. So if you're going to be, FUDing something, that's your personality, they're going to be right every once in a while. They're not going to make any money unless they're actually shorting it. But I on the business side, Yeah, like it's definitely different. It's not exactly like a sports team. It's also exactly not like, publicly traded business. But I don't know, man. You see like, the big AI people take some shots at each other. Like Sam and Elon go back and forth, and not that I agree with that either, but it you definitely see some trash talking from some of these big CEOs at time to time. Zonko says PvP, as long as it's mostly respectful, I think it's just human nature. There's a certain line you don't cross. Just keep it above the belt. Agent says NFL Twitter is pretty wild. It can be pretty wild as well. Like it's also like even Washington fans have been kind of fudding their quarterback Jaden Daniels. Like the whole number 5 thing. I'm not going to go there. If you know, you know. But it says movie and game Twitter critic too. Web3 is so soft. It's like people can like find to be critical. Just like sometimes like use some real data. Sometimes zoom out, and if you're going to dunk on a 20% dip, then you should be giving flowers on a 20% pump. I'm not saying they have to do that either, but Brickadall says real estate is super PvP in real life. Yeah, it's just like part of it's human nature. It's a little different. And I also think like while we're in a very niche corner of the internet, I think that crypto Twitter is even it's a niche of a niche. Like there's people in that ecosystem that just don't really care about what people on crypto Twitter say. Fortunately, they give some they give us something to talk about. FFV says you can tell who hasn't been punched in the face before and by how loud they talk crap online.
Yo, dead ass.
Yeah, it's yeah. Again, if you've been around for a while, I tell you this, almost every single person who has hit big, like who's had a 1,000x, who's had a 6-figure win in crypto. I guess maybe there's people who got in on like a meme coin at they put $1 in or $100 in, and at $10,000 market cap, and it ran up, and so and then they sold, so it was looked like a straight line, and they never had a pullback. But even more volatile in memes, like a lot of these big massive memes, they have crazy pullbacks and crazy corrections on the run up, because you have people that have massive unrealized positions, and those unrealized positions mean something different to every holder there. But yeah, I think it's also kind of like when someone's like taking a victory lap on a 20% pullback, yeah, they probably haven't had one of those big hits because they don't, or it's just engagement farming. One of the two. Gangsta Geek says a broken clock is right twice a day. That pretty much sums up these people. Yeah, and some people like, oh, that's the same with you, Cap, on the other side because you're perma bull. Sure, whatever. If that makes you feel better, fine. But I'm also telling you that told someone this morning, probably don't buy a stockbroker if you're worried about volatility. Like it's new novel stuff. They're building, and that is in anything that's going to have. I think in this, my expectation is anything that's going to have that 1,000x plus type potential, it's going to have massive pullbacks like this along the way, and I don't see any other way around it. So it's like I know the game I'm playing, and I'm comfortable with that. It's not normal. Like I'm numb to a 20% pullback. Some people are going to lose their minds, or they should have took profits when it pumped because it means something different to them, and they will, they will, like something so little liquidity or WETH bids are limited. There's no farming, so WETH bids are going to be on any collection. It's not just this one. They're thin. So if a few people take some WETH bids, it doesn't take much for people to capitulate. Like it's a few sales can really send something. Just like I said, 10 more sales and it's back up to 10 ETH. If 10 people dump into WETH bids, it's going to go lower. Like it's just, I don't, to me, it seems so like natural and normal and dare I say healthy. But Ken says, finance is super PvP. It just happens behind closed doors because the industry is highly regulated. And lawyer says, unironically, if you hold to 100 ETH, they'll tell you, wow, so lucky, dude. Yeah. cheers to the bold. Like everyone thinks that I'm lucky because I minted apes and got an ape coin airdrop and was able to realize, solid 6 figures of gains in that ecosystem for minting a few apes. But I also had either I was dumb enough or I had the intestinal fortitude to, or I, in my case, I didn't try to time the market, and it was a decade-long play for me. I did try to time the market on some of my exits, some of the both the other assets and milk I sold along the way. But when apes went over 10K the first time, $10,000 the first time, I said, okay, I'm gonna stay in this ecosystem for at least a decade, and then I'll reevaluate. But I knew it was going to be, or I assumed it'd be very volatile, and I never thought it was going to run up to 150 ETH. But that was how I played it, and it wasn't. I mean, was I fortunate to mint apes? Yes. Was it lucky to hold and realize 6 figures of gains? If you want to call it luck, sure. If it makes you feel better, but I also held through multiple 20% pullbacks to get there. And I'll go ahead and answer the question. We'll see who's got close, and then we'll get to Machiavelli, Gangsta Geek, and then we'll bring Simple Farmer in here. Let me just check the comments one more time. I don't think anyone's got it exactly right on the biggest single-day pullbacks that apes had in 2021, but there are some pretty close ones. So Joe A 4.8, Dort 6.5, Neil 6, Meta 8, guessed a few times, but 9.5. Big Mo is our winner. Big Mo guessed 11 ETH. The biggest single day pullback for apes was, let me double check so I give you the right number, was it was almost 12 ETH. It was 11.79 ETH was the biggest single day pullback. Vividly remember, they went from basically 50 ETH to 38 ETH in a day. Think about that. Like, for those of you that weren't here, put that in perspective. People are freaking out that a few people took weak bids and therefore then people chased the floor down because oh my gosh, what if it's over? What if it's going to zero? Well, then better take your liquidity. You can go take a weak bid, or you can undercut the floor by 0.11 ETH, and that's okay. Like, do you, but in one day during their run up, apes pulled back more than the floor of any of these collections right now, except for CryptoPunks. Imagine what people thought of me at that time, where I held this thing to 50 ETH, didn't sell, and it sells off, it's down 12 ETH in a day. And I came on this show the very next day, and I'm like, whatever, it's okay. Like, it's not, I wasn't selling at 50 ETH, I'm not selling at 38 ETH, and maybe it goes to 20 ETH, maybe it goes to 100 ETH. I didn't actually expect that at the time, but point is yeah, it's pullbacks in this space, volatility in this space is very normal, especially in NFTs, especially in tokens. When you combine two, it's like 1 + 1 = 3 on the volatility side. And part of what is cool about this one, new, is despite it being volatile and a little bit of a dip, there was a lot of volume, which leads to revenue, which leads to token burns. And oh, by the way, I think we just hit 1 month, and I guess little under $1,000 in month 1. Call it, I think on the last few days we looked at the average, like call it $35 a day. That'd be about $1,000 a month. Do you got to do the math? Like, maybe that doesn't make sense for you to come in at the current entry price, but I don't know. I said this in the war room, like, I have a lot of NFTs, including others in like this 8 ETH range. I didn't make $1,000 last month on any others. I'm not making $35 a day on any others. And rewards are, it's a nice little perk. Some people are saying, okay, what do I do? Do I enter here? Do I buy? I agree with Mayhem. They say, hey, if this is something you're interested in, but you're unsure on the volatility, or it's a lot of capital to put at risk, you're not sure about picking up an NFT that's 8 ETH that was 10 ETH yesterday and dipped down to 6.5 overnight, just DCA on the token. You're kind of, you're kind of it's a way to get exposure to the ecosystem, kind of get, I don't want to say protect your downside, but in case it does run away and it rips up to 100 ETH, you're not completely sidelined. And if you do start stacking a bag and then it does dip to lower levels, you can go snipe one from the vault. I shared PBC yesterday, he sniped 5 from the vault, and he did it, he looked at all of them. Like, don't just do it. I mean, you can do a random one. It's like the fee is about 0.7 ETH, give or take. Or you can pay like about an ETH to snipe one. So it's an extra 0.3 ETH. He did that. Oh, I should say, I don't know PBC. Maybe they did that. And the result was he sniped 5 5-star card walls, which had a floor. I'll check again this morning. Yesterday, when I looked first, the floor on the 5, like the floor was like 0.5-ish, 0.4, 0.36. But the 5 stars, when he did it, were the floor was 2 ETH on those. This morning it's 1.5. So when he did it, he picked up an extra 10 ETH of equity from sniping these stonk brokers by looking what they had in their wallets. It's just another cool mechanic in the ecosystem, and something that there's so much happening. There's so much going on. We haven't had many people, like I haven't seen a single thread on talking about strategies of people sniping brokers out of the vault and playing the game. I said it yesterday, man, I feel like this ecosystem was actually Steve's post that inspired me. I was like, I feel like Franklin, his board, would have been like prime when he was in his prime for his on-chain activity. He would have been eating in this ecosystem.
Bro, he would have been a field day right now, like a kid in a fucking
we would have seen, it wouldn't have been, I made 0.1 flip on this or 0.1 ETH on this NFT flip. It'd be like, I just made 7 ETH yesterday because I sniped this out of the anvil, and then I sold all the like there's it was an ARB when I sniped it, plus I got this wallet that had this other NFT in it that was a rare, and I sold it for 4, like, I think we're
playing make believe for Franklin is bored right now. You realize that?
I miss Franklin. I mean, I know he's still around, and he's a very successful guy. I think he was a good personality for NFT Twitter, and I know it annoyed some people, and but in his prime, it was a lot of fun, and he's super smart. Like he does have a big brain.
He's literally a rocket science cat.
Yeah,
rocket scientist. He just did the launch this past.
Got a little little too deep into gambling, and people took advantage of him. I think there was some scams, but he very, very, very smart guy when it comes to numbers. And the other people I thought of was like not just D-Farmer from like a whale standpoint, but like a Cirrus. Cirrus is one who, I don't want to say like finds exploits. It's not that. Like they find, if there's opportunities, there's ways to break a system, or you know what, the best way to put it is they find edge. They find where they have opportunities to find something where it's plus EV for them to participate in the ecosystem, and they study it, they know it inside and out, and they do really, really well. You seriously did this recently with the World Cup stuff. Ended up getting like, I don't know, $250,000 in World Cup tickets or something crazy like that, because he leveraged and took advantage of a prediction market when few were seeing it. Dort asked the question: Are those Bitcoin, are those ape dips correlated to any specific downwards catalyst? Yes, the biggest one, the 12 ETH, was after their biggest activation in 2021. And no one talks about this anymore. Like, because it recovered so quickly, right? Because the dip was bought up so quickly, and ultimately it ran up higher than that. But yeah, mutants minted, and all ape holders got a mutant. Then another 10,000 sold in a Dutch auction that settled around, I think, 3 ETH. And so the apes got a 3 ETH asset, and then the floor of the apes dropped 12 ETH. No one talks about that. I think we just collectively forgot that apes dropped 12 ETH the day after mutants minted, because mutants would end up running up to 40 ETH and apes would go up to 150 ETH. So in hindsight, it's like, it was just a blip in the map, because you can zoom out and you forget that, they pulled back 12 ETH. But it's hard to, because we don't know the future, so it's hard to just kind of, it's no big deal, just a pullback. And when it's present, when you're in it, but as we look back, it's pretty wild. And yeah, then following other side is when it went from like 150 to the 90s. But I actually don't think there was a pullback following ApeCoin drop, which is wild. I think it actually went up following ApeCoin drop, which is also something no one talks about anymore. Everyone, all these TGs from these NFT companies are all the same, very different. They had half dozen activations at time of TGE, and the big one was they teased the other deeds mint, and so not only did the ApeCoin token go up, like apes kept going up after ApeCoin. It's crazy. Anyways, let's keep hands moving here, and then we'll get to our guest of the day, our first guest of the day. Also, before I forget, it was who won? 11. Big Mo. Big Mo, you get your. I just need your. I'm going to shoot you a DM right now. I do not like the new X. I do not like the new Twitter. Because I don't know how, I can't, like on mobile, it's hard to even send someone a DM. There you go, message. Okay. So Mo, I just sent you a DM. I just need your EVM address so I can get you added to the first come, first serve allow list for rec markets. We'll do a few more of those, maybe another one today. If not, we'll do a few more tomorrow, and we'll keep things moving here. But congrats, Big Mo, good guess. He guessed 11. And the biggest single day drop was 11.8 ETH the day following their biggest activation of 2021. Machiavelli, go ahead and get in here. GM. Mac, if you're there, you're still muted.
Oh, you got me. Yo, GM. Listen, all I want to touch on with the stockbroker situation is if you can't recognize a buy opportunity, then we can't help you anymore. Okay. And then also, really, what I came up for was because the rec markets thing. Are you going to have them on?
Yes,
or are we gonna
we are, but probably yes, but probably next week, probably after Mint, we'll have OSF on. He's out this week. And
when does Mint?
Friday.
Oh no, Cap! I got to get in this, and I need to understand it because I don't.
Yeah, right now a lot of it's speculation. I've seen a few takes and like some teases, but I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know if it's like people are just purely speculating or all this stuff was actually on the timeline. But my understanding, what I believe it's going to be is probably NFTs with 6551s, the tech that, while not the first, that stockbrokers have really popularized this cycle. We had on the founder of Chonks yesterday, who was the first to introduce 6551s in a large NFT collection a few years ago, but it was just recently here with stockbrokers that took it up. So I'm guessing it'll be an NFT with a 6551 wallet. And as I understand, I think these are going to be traders. I think your NFT will be an agent that can trade for you. And each trader is going to have its own personality. So like one trader might be just someone who just DCAs into their favorite coin. Someone else may be a pure degen it's gonna like their how aggressive they are is going to be a personality trait, a trade of the NFT. And then that's going to dictate how the actual agent trades. I don't know the details. I could be way off. That could be just pure speculation, but I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's
I'm excited about it too.
Yeah, I think
let's go.
I think it could be pretty cool. Gangsta Geek, you're next. GM, thanks for joining.
Hey, GM, everyone. Thanks for having me on today. I just wanted to come on and say real quick, first off, people who are trying to dunk on or just trying to get in a few jabs are like, oh, see, stockbroker is dropped. You have to look at the bigger picture. So don't just think of it as something like, oh, it's dropping, which means the NFT I'm holding is worth more now, so I can, laugh and judge and things like that. You have to look at like the motivations behind why people are selling, the motivations behind like, oh, okay, this dude bought a stockbroker. I mean, one of the stockbrokers listed right now below 8 ETH. Someone purchased it for like 0.229 ETH, and now they're selling it for like 7.89 ETH. So like, kudos to that dude. Like you're making a ton of money. But when it comes to like the ideation behind stockbrokers and some of these newer projects that we're seeing kind of capitalizing on the hype of Robinhood, these are things we want to see succeed. Like no one should be looking at stockbrokers and like, oh, I don't want stockbrokers to succeed. It's like, okay, why would you hate the industry that you're a part of? Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like I want brokers to continue to grow and try new things and kind of act as a beacon for other people to continue to try to put new products out and try new experiments as well. And that's one of the things you guys just mentioned, especially with chunks. Like stockbrokers is not the first, what is it, 6551 NFT collection that's utilized that kind of NFT wallet where each NFT has its own wallet. Chunks did that, but it took a long time. Like it took a couple years before someone was like, okay, I really like this technology. I think I can make kind of a new experiment with it or try something new. There have been so many flash in the pan things that came out over the past few years, like ERC 404, DN 404, tokenized stocks are newer. They're kind of growing and still catching on. And you've got fractionalized NFTs, things like that. Like there have been so many ideas that came. It's like, wow, the tech's really good, but no one's really found a way to utilize it yet. And now stockbrokers and Simple Farmer, with the genius that he has, said, okay, I think I can take this tech of like ERC 6551 and turn it into something new that people haven't really seen before. And it's obviously, I mean, if you're doing something right if your NFT goes from 3 ETH to 12 ETH in the span of like 10 days. Like you're obviously onto something. And it's encouraging more people now to kind of come out and say, you know what, I have an idea too. Maybe I can try it on Robinhood, or I can, deploy it because it seems like now's the time. So, huge thanks to Simple Farmer for kind of being that flag holder and saying, you know what, let's try new things. Let's just not keep following the same mold that's kind of had us stuck running on a hamster wheel for the past 4 years. I think there's going to be a lot of new innovations coming, especially in the next few months now that people are trying to capitalize on the hype. But you also have to be very careful out there because there's going to be a lot of people who maybe have had some shady past or some, things that they did that weren't quite right, kind of coming back in to try to capitalize, because scammers don't like to work when there's no money. They don't want to work if there's a very little chance of making any money. So now that they see that, things are in full swing again, there's a lot of money velocity happening. They're like, hey, it's quite easy for me to make money again, so I might start scamming again. So just be wary of that, folks, when you start seeing a lot of new things launching. Try to look for something that has a good narrative or has some kind of new tech they're really trying to push, kind of like stockbrokers.
Yeah, well said. And I know for some, they're going to think that, no, that's not real. This is what excites me most right now. It wasn't about the floor price ripping up. It's probably why I'm not fazed by the pullback, is because I'm much more excited about what's happening than I am any price action. Like I truly believe this, and this is where I'm trying. Like stockbrokers isn't going to be for everyone. In fact, most people shouldn't be putting this kind of ETH into an NFT right now. It's experimental. You're speculating on future success of the ecosystem. I happen to think Simple Farmer's been pretty locked in. I don't know if he's sleeping, and they continue to ship so frequently. And the beauty of this ecosystem, and I don't think we've seen this before in crypto, is it's actually the success of the ecosystem isn't solely dependent on Simple Farmer and the core team. Now, if the next Jupiter, the next Hyperliquid, the next Pump Fund, if they happen to, if this launchpad ends up becoming even remotely close to the success of Pump Fund, it's going to do massive things for the ecosystem. So yeah, native dApp that Simple Farmer drops, and it becomes the next big protocol in the space, which I think Anvil already is, but we'll just say, let's say that it's another consumer side, like a token launcher, then that's going to do huge things for the ecosystem. But even if Simple Farmer keeps taking shots on goal and keeps, hitting singles and doubles and doesn't hit the grand slam that does, $1 billion in revenue in year one, if even one of the special projects does that, it's gonna send the whole ecosystem. Chain Mancers, I think it's incredible. I think it might be the best DEX I've ever used. There's more features. And I say this as someone I've used Jupiter. Jupiter's very good. They've been around for 4 years. I'm just not that deep in Solana. I trade there, but it's not nearly what I do in the EVM world. And Jupiter's done $1 billion in fees, $1 billion with a B. Like, I can't even do the math, what the impact that has on not just Chainmancers, but the stockbroker ecosystem. Forget $1 billion. If it does $100 million in fees, things get silly. So it's like the exciting part to me is it's because of the momentum it's created. I think it's not only the builders that are here, the slop fathers of the world, and the name slipping me, but the founder of Cardwall. Like, we're big fans of BZ. I love BZ. It'd be a lot cooler if I had an NFT that gave me marketing rewards that were a percent of their fees they were generating. I don't know, Joe, if you can make that happen, but I would take it. And so, like, maybe it's not the Cardwall. Maybe the Cardwall isn't the next big on-chain physical digital thing. Maybe Chainmancers isn't the next. Maybe it's not. Maybe they fall flat and it doesn't become the Jupiter of EVM. But if just one, if they keep shipping and we keep bringing special projects and one of them hits and it's out of this ecosystem, giddy up. And I think the momentum we've created, I think it's not only there's more builders here going to ship. Myself, I didn't think I could be launching an NFT collection in 2026, but because of this ecosystem and what it enables now, I can't wait. I'm excited. I think it's also going to be
when are we doing that?
Soon.
What's up with that?
I think it's also going to be bringing in new builders into the ecosystem. I still think that Robinhood Chain hasn't turned on their marketing yet, really, for their 30 million users. And when they do, I think it could be a whole nother, not just leg up, not just, exit liquidity, but I think some smart people are going to come in that are used to looking at earnings per share and dividends of stocks, and they're going to see some of these numbers and then go a little deeper, right? Maybe they get on Robinhood Chain just to trade tokenized stocks 24/7, and then I don't know. Like, we also, like, I'm not saying Stockbroker's going to get a listing, but there's a few like pretty big catalysts outside of the ecosystem. A Vlad PFPs it, a Vlad repost. I'm not saying this is happening, but if it does, it's hard to see it not being a positive catalyst in terms of price action. But I think, like, putting more eyeballs on the ecosystem from the others that are trading tokenized stocks, they're going to peel back, layer, dive a little deeper, do a little more research, and then who knows? Maybe one of them ships the next great financial primitive that none of us are even thinking of yet. So it's while we'll talk here about stockbrokers in a second, we'll get Simple Farmer in, and this idea of, I agree with Mayhem, says Simple Farmer isn't putting all his eggs in one basket. He's created an incubator that feeds back to the stockbrokers. Absolutely. This is, while maybe comparing it to virtuals as far as the ecosystem goes and the launchpad goes, it's just so much more than that. And it really is, like, he's an entrepreneur himself, continually shipping, but he's created this on-chain Y Combinator that's like that entrepreneurial spirit here. It's like where the war room came to be is myself and Steve and Bunchu and Chamber and a few others got in a side community, a group chat out of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And we were all talking like shared business ideas. How can we build in this ecosystem? And it was such a fun time. And what resulted in that was DJ Network, which led to Coffee with Captain and our War Room, which is like my Web3 home. That became out of that last entrepreneur bubble in the space. Bubble's not the right way to put it, but that surge of creators and builders, and how can we build within this ecosystem? I think this is, to me, from my perspective, this is the closest we've seen to that since, I don't know, give me early Bored Ape Yacht Club vibes. I say that just because I know it's going to tilt some people, but it really is. As someone who lived both of them, that builder energy is very, very, very real. And in season 2, when in 2021, it was building with the IP really, and then you got a lot of community support. Here, it's building with the tech and getting that community support. And oh, by the way, all that stuff's feeding back into the ecosystem. Like, just imagine if back in 21 or whatever Jenkins minted, if Jenkins and like, I shouldn't start naming them because there's so many, and Jenkins doesn't hold a great spot in my memory. But my point is, imagine if all those projects that built with Bored Ape Yacht Club IP all had a percentage of their fees, a percentage of their royalties that funneled back into buying apes or buying ApeCoin. Like, a lot of this didn't exist back then. I don't think anyone was thinking like that. And that's where we're at here. It's the tech and this ecosystem, which is really a game changer. I want to get to Simple Farmer here. We do have another guest joining us at the bottom of the hour. So I'll go to Ken for a quick comment or question, and then we're going to bring Simple Farmer in just a minute.
Yeah, I just want to give a really quick comment because I think kind of understanding the macro environment, particularly for tokenized stocks, is important, right? There's already $2.34 billion of tokenized stocks on chain, right? And there are 1.35 million wallets that hold tokenized stocks today. That number has grown by 90% in the last 30 days. I think it's important to like contextualize these things because there's going to be a massive amount of these assets that come on chain. And when they come on chain, they're going to look to take advantage of all the improvements you get when you tokenize an asset, right? Lending, loans, the ability to sort of, make it more capital efficient, ability to transfer it with very little friction. And I think that feeds into the thesis for stockbrokers because these assets are going to be used heavily in the ecosystem as collateral, as pairs, right, to other on-chain assets. And that opportunity, right, there are no guarantees, but that opportunity is something that makes Robinhood unique relative to many of the others in the industry that are before them, because Robinhood has the retail market, Robinhood has a lot of the retail market trading stocks, and as an incentive for them, right, to lean into the space to provide and one, to retain their holders, right? So retain their customers who are looking to sort of move on chain, looking to like have more capital efficiency. But two, to provide a differentiated service relative to all the other tokenized platforms that are a little more corporate, for lack of a better word. So I think it's important for people to understand that because that gives the context for how fast this market is going to grow. And I think supports the important work that is being led by Simple Farmer around building these on-chain primitives and the stack that would support, in my view, like enterprise-grade interactions coming potentially from Robinhood and eventually other chains. So hopefully that sets the table for Farmer to kind of run. Thanks.
Yeah, man, well said. Appreciate it's been great to hear your voice on stage as of late. And yeah, thanks for joining us again. And great setup. Simple Farmer, GM, sir. Feel free to comment anything you'd like about the marketing and rips and pullbacks, anything you'd like to comment on, anything the earlier conversation. Then I do want to get into the most recent launch, the Stonk launcher, the Safe launcher, and talk about, for those who missed it, what makes it different. But GM, sir, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, GM, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys said a lot of the right things already. In terms of like PvP nature and stuff, like crypto Twitter is pretty savage, but it's not as savage as like playing soccer in the playgrounds in Bosnia in the 90s. It's essentially in Bosnia when I was a kid, if you get the ball and you're playing soccer with the other kids, even on a team, and the kids smell a second of like doubt or the way you play, everybody starts yelling, he doesn't know what he's doing, and they all attack you to try to get the ball from you. And so this is what I grew up in. So I'm not that worried about 120-pound, 5'4" dudes on their computer at their mom's house posting things on Twitter in general. So yeah, just in terms of that. But Cap, I would love to actually just go to the box score in terms of looking at the analytics of the Stonk launcher, because I just added actually a leaderboard and an analytics page to the Safe Launch Launchpad, which is a feature of the Stonk launcher. It's not the entire Launchpad, it's just a feature of the Launchpad. So can we start there? Because that's what I thought yesterday is what I said yesterday was like, this is just like phase one. This is just a feature. This is just the anti-snipe technology and not the full Launchpad. What is, so like, then what is the, so that you just confirmed I was right, but then what is, or I was understanding it correctly, what's different, what will be different with the actual Launchpad then? Yeah, I mean, look, it's like, in 300, the Spartans, they kind of hurdle people into this small cliffed area so they can handle all the volume coming in at once, right? Same thing here. The Safe Launch was this early feature I wanted to drop because it's my first time deploying a Launchpad. I've done prediction markets, DEXs, all types of other protocols, but I've never done a Launchpad. So I wanted to see how it behaves early. I wanted to see what people do, and the way to nerf that early volume, I made the deployment fee really expensive. I made a 0.1 ETH, which I refunded everybody the first 50 people who deployed. I sent it back to them anyways. But what it did is it limited the amount of tokens that could be launched early, so I could observe, make sure the UI is kind of reading things well, and improve things. But the numbers cap of the safe launcher are still great. I mean, this was originally built to be an anti-snipe tool for like NFT teams and special projects partners, so they could use it without me having to build them a custom solution every time. Because they want to come in and they want to have an anti-snipe strategy. It worked really well with the wall token. And there's a lot of teams that are deploying via the Anvil, and they just LP, and their token has the snipe spike, and then their chart looks funny. Essentially, this is all fixing that problem and also fixing bad actors. Essentially, in crypto, it's monetizing safety. And so, if we look at the cumulative tape for the safe launch feature, which is, I think these are good numbers. We did more volume than Pawns yesterday, which is the number one launchpad on Robin and Chain. So gross window volume was 1,022 ETH. That's $1.94 million. 708 ETH in taxes was collected, anti-snipe taxes. And so this is including the wall launch on the cumulative one. We had only 939 unique traders, not that many. And that's because we don't have integrations yet into like GMGN, FOMO, Banana, all of these trading things. And they are working on those integrations. So we have that coming. 24 ETH in creator fees were paid. Somebody who launched a token on this made 14 ETH in creator fees. And that's because of the snipe feature. We also had 34 ETH sent to the stock booster, which is the stockbrokers, activated stockbroker wallets. And that's not even counting the additional fees from the safety deposit box and the AMM. Yesterday, stockbrokers brought in about $80,000. I mean, the box score, I think, looks pretty good. I think blockchain and CT sometimes tell a different story.
Incredible. Like it's not even full launch yet. It's phase 1, dare I say beta of the launchpad. Just one feature of the launchpad. Did 1,000 ETH in volume, almost $2 million. How much was the top grade? Did you say 14 ETH?
Yeah, you can see it in the analytics section. If you scroll down, you can see top deployers by fees earned. It's not 14, I'm sorry. He earned 17.42 ETH.
$33,000 for just deploying a token. Next is 4.4 ETH or 8.4K. 1.4K is third. What is I've never launched a token on Pump Fund, but like, can we put that in perspective? Like, what is a dev on, even like a runner of the day on Pump Fund? What are they earning on creator fees?
Yeah, and they're making more on LP fees. If their token is getting up to 10, 20 million, obviously they can get up to like 50K, but much less than that. I mean, most tokens die before they get to 50. Even the ones that bond die before they get to 200K market cap, and then those people are making like a couple $100 maybe. That's why this is the go-to for if you have a strong project and you have a strong token you want to launch. You're going to be able to monetize in the early stages of your product, and you're going to be able to launch safely without getting your project sniped. So essentially, if you have a strong product, this is the best token launching infrastructure in the industry right now.
64 out of 64 bonded, 64 graduated, 64 bonded, 69 launches. The 5 that haven't bonded yet or haven't graduated is because they haven't timed out yet, or they haven't hit the number. Is that right?
No, I mean, there's just a couple tokens that are redacted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's because there's other teams that are deploying that same token, and people are trying to front run them. So I'm like, I'm just not going to show that token on the UI.
Interesting. Okay. So does that, maybe I want to tug on that string a little bit then. Does this, now I know like someone could launch a token with the same ticker on Pawns or Pump Fund, but do I understand that right? Is like, is it safe to assume like we won't see PvP, the same ticker or the same token from the stockbrokers launchpad, or still a possibility?
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to nerf that process. So, for example, you want to come in and you want to launch the cap token for your special projects. As soon as you announce that on X, right, 10 people are going to try to launch it before you on the launch pad. What I do is I essentially say, this is the partner who has this token and has the CA, and we're not going to allow anybody else to show a fake token on the UI. So it's kind of, on OpenSea, we also see the scam mints that come on the same day the project mints. What I do is I just blacklist anybody using those same words. for the period of that launch, and then I'm able to protect a lot of users.
I love it. I love it. Well, congratulations on a successful launch. Another successful launch. Like it's also wild to me. We're talking about celebrating builders, and you launch yet another product, another feature that does 2 million in day one. Not only does it do 2 million, because of how the nature of this technology, and that you're attempting to mitigate snipers and bots. Of that 1.9 million, 1.3 billion was taxes collected. 708 ETH back to the protocol, and 358 ETH locked into the LP forever. What does that mean? What does locking in the LP forever mean?
Yeah, so if you look at like the wall token that Point is running, where he's building this community for all these trading card things, half of his total snipe fees essentially went back to support his token. So the token, the wall token, I think has like a 2.6 million dollar market cap, something like that. It has almost $1 million in liquidity supporting it. And that's because that liquidity was derived from the anti-snipe process to give him that much of a stronger foundation for his launch.
So, and this is probably an ignorant question. So that all makes sense. But then how does it lock it in there? If someone goes to sell, it's like that's the floor. Like that liquidity can't be. It's there, but it's not. That's where my brain just isn't. It's not. I'm not grasping it yet.
Yeah, essentially for that number, 750K of that is still right now live ETH supporting the wall token. And so that makes the floor of that token that much stronger. It can take way more sell pressure, and being able to take way more sell pressure obviously gives you more room for upward growth as well. Incredible.
What, and I see like 2,000 referral cards already claimed, we mentioned earlier, but 34 ETH of that volume just in one day went back to the stock booster flow, 64K. We talked about the 46,000 in creator fees already being paid. And this is happening like, when I say like in real time, I should know this by now, but is it like, I guess two-part question. One, the stockbroker rewards, the marketing rewards, those are distributed when someone clocks in, right? Anyone in the community can go clock in, and any rewards that have been accrued, they're distributed when a community member prompts that. Is that correct?
Exactly, yeah. And so that's how the whole launchpad works. So it's actually a fully on-chain launchpad. There is no bot operations that have to execute anything. Essentially, all of the executions, like bonding, claiming creator fees. So like the creator fees on Pump Fund, for example, like the token works and it trades, and then you get it airdrop to you, essentially, or you can claim it. With this, that process is permissionless. So anybody can airdrop your creator fees for you to you by clicking a button. Anybody is supposed to click a button to bond the token. All of the processes work just like clock in. Essentially, it's on-chain functions that anybody can execute, so that we avoid using any bots.
Yep, I'm there's repeating, it's complex. There's so much here, and someone, or I think it was Mayhem, said you're just not putting all your eggs in one basket. Like, this is innovative. This is new. It's, to his earlier point, the safest place to launch a token today. You're not going to worry about bundled launches. Like, so both safe from a dev, someone launching tokens, as well as someone trading tokens or participating, wanting to get in these tokens as they're created. But this isn't the platform itself. Like, this would be exciting if that's all it was, but it's just one piece of the ecosystem that's being built. I guess the question is, what is the full launch pad? Is that next on the docket for the stockbrokers native, for things that you'll be shipping, or there might be something between now and then?
Yeah, for sure. And so, like I said, people maybe are surprised, like, hey, this is not operating like a meme coin launcher. Like, Safe Launch isn't a meme coin launcher. The fee to deploy was 0.1 ETH. Like, yeah, it's like $200. Essentially, this was built for these high-level, high-quality teams to come through and have safe, strong launches on their product, be able to monetize from that safety and earn a lot of fees from the anti-snipe period. The full launcher will be coming this week as well. The full launcher itself actually has a BRNG feature, and it's going to be accumulating like what the kind of fees that you're seeing here into a pool, and that pool will buy randomly one of the tokens launched out of the stockbroker's eco every time somebody executes on it. So that's more like the meme coin side, right? And so this is more like what Virtuals has. And I just want to have a lot of good, safe infrastructure cap, because these infrastructure, like the safety deposit box, for example, if you click near the bottom, there's $4 million in liquidity in the liquidity lockers. It's made 223K. Of that, 20,000 has gone to stockbrokers. And that's just infra that exists on chain. It's just smart contracts. So this is the kind of stuff I like. I like vending machines essentially more than I like, having like a burger restaurant, for example. Nothing against J Bonds.
And so I understand the lockers. I understand, but can you maybe we dive one layer deeper on this as well? I've got it pulled up on screen here. You can see, lock Uniswap V3 positions, native ETH, Uniswap V4 liquidity, up DEX LPs positions, or vest plain tokens on Robinhood chain plus cross-chain vaults on Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum One. Choose your fee tier, receive a transferable ownership NFT, keep earning fees, and stake up, lock for up emissions. They can choose how long they want to lock. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, that's right. So you can vest or you can permanently lock. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see all of these positions that have been locked, and they're all from the safe launch. So this was a piece of infra that I needed for the safe launcher, essentially. And this is a great piece of infra because with all these LP positions, 80% of the LP fees are going to the creator, and 20% are flowing back to the activated stockbrokers.
And educate me, why would someone choose to lock forever? What's the thinking behind that?
Well, so look, like the stockbroker token, the LP on it is locked forever. The reason being is because that is proof that you don't have any plans to pull LP.
Yeah, I mean, pretty incredible. And all this is updating. You see, updated 45 seconds ago. As far as like the stockbroker marketing rewards, someone can clock in and those get distributed. The creator fees, is that all done? Like, is that in real time? Is that like one batch a day? How is the rest outside of the marketing rewards? How's the rest of the distributions? What triggers that? Is it just automated on as it happens? Is it once a day? How does that work?
No, anybody can trigger it essentially. So these are permissionless functions. So sometimes I'll go in and I'll just sweep through all of them, but anybody can click it. So anybody can pay the gas to execute it.
Amazing. Every day I feel like I get it, and then even what's already existing, then I learn a little more, go another layer deeper. What haven't we hit on yet, or what do you think might be that you've talked about, but is still not being maybe grasped by everyone in the space, even potentially people in the community? What do you think is still, like, I guess maybe being slept on to some degree, or not fully understood as part of this ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, I think people have to understand that businesses infrastructure is different than many things in this industry, and that businesses take a long time to build. I pinned up top Shane Copeland's tweets, one of my favorite tweets in the history of crypto, in 2020, showing him where he was operating the first 6 months for Polymarket. He was working on Polymarket out of his bathroom, and his bathroom door had a big hole in the door itself, because he was making a business, and that takes a long time. He took a lot of sacrifice. He wasn't taking salary. This is a process. Look, we actually have a huge advantages that early Polymarket didn't have. We have massive NFT communities to help distribution mindshare. That's why we've had a super fast run up. We have awesome partners. I mean, Adam Weitzman is a partner. That is an incredible resource for connections, and those connections can be leveraged for additional levers so you can pull to have more successes, right? Like, you saw a picture yesterday, Adam, with Luca. That makes me think like, hey, I would love to be able to reach out to Luca to just ask him questions about like, what route would you go to get additional centralized exchange listings? Like, obviously that's a great connection to have. He's a person who's really, really well versed on that. He knows more than me about it. So this whole process, everything that's happening, people just have to be patient. It's like, it's under development. It's day 31. And I'm trying to build like an industry, like a whole company that is permissionless and on chain and governs itself and works on its own. It's going to take time, so just be patient, guys.
Yeah, I'm one who lacks patience, but when it comes to like building a business, building an on-chain protocol, like 30 days is like barely getting started. Like a lot of people won't do anything in their first 30 days in business except for like choose a website and a logo. This is moving at breakneck speed here. And as with anything, again, no guarantees. Other than actually, you know what I will guarantee, he won't say, but maybe he will. I feel pretty confident, can probably guarantee that Simple Farmer is going to keep shipping. He's going to keep showing up. Steve had a good post this morning. He dropped it in the chat. I'll pull it up here on stream for those of you who haven't seen it. And Steve, he shares, so I'm not sharing anything that's not known, but he doesn't have exposure. He's been thinking about it. He's looking for an entry point, and but he doesn't hold a stockbroker. He says, unless you're living under a rock, you've seen stockbrokers' floor prices down. I have no idea where the price goes, and I don't currently own one, so I don't have bag bias. But it sure seems like a lot of people dancing on stockbrokers' grave. Pullbacks happen, and the floor price might continue to dip. But guess what? Simple Farmer was building when the floor price was 100. He was building when it was 25K. I don't think he's going to stop now because it's 14, 15K. Whether the NFT is a good buy is totally a personal decision. But man, the innovation is cool. The mechanics are fun, and I'm excited to see the ecosystem grow. Same. And maybe it doesn't make sense for you to build in an ecosystem like this. I think you should probably look at it. It's not a coincidence. It's not random that we're seeing so many derivatives popping off. And the ones I mentioned earlier that have run up, it's a fork, a derivative, or at minimum have taken inspiration from stockbrokers. In fact, I think we're probably getting the rec traders on Friday. I don't know this. We'll ask OSF on Monday, but I'm pretty sure they've taken inspiration from Simple Farmer. We probably wouldn't be getting that if stockbrokers wasn't a thing. I saw Loki. Loki, did you just pick up an NFT? I saw you bought the dip. Did you buy the token, or did you go all the way in and pick up a free stockbroker NFT?
Hey guys, for now I'm DCAing the token. I still don't have a full NFT yet. I have some lowball bits.
There you go.
So if you guys want to dump on my bits, please go ahead. But yeah, man, I've been diving into the tech a little bit more in the last 2 days. It's amazing. It's smooth. So I'm really impressed. Congrats, Simple Farmer. It's a really, really good tech. I know we usually say price up is good tech, but in this case, there are fundamentals here.
Yeah, there are fundamentals. And I think those fundamentals, as more time goes on, it becomes much easier. Like a lot of people are going to do math today, and both the Moonboy math and the Futter math, I don't think either are really fair or accurate. It's most likely somewhere in between. But fast forward 6 months, we're going to see a lot more math, and then the math is like, hey, this thing. I'm sure some people say, oh, it's not going to last. It's gonna go to zero. But it's much more. You're able to give a much more accurate forward-looking estimate and talk numbers after you have months of math, not 31 days. Loki, go ahead and respond to that, and then I got another question for Simple Farmer.
Yeah, I actually have a kind of a spicy question for Simple Farmer, if you allow.
You good with a spicy question, Simple Farmer?
All right, so.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, thank you. No, today on the timeline we were reading some tweet regarding you wanting to go to Abstract before eventually moving to Robinhood.
This may or may not have been what I was alluding to earlier, and I was going to see if Jesus wanted to talk about it. But yeah, go ahead, finish your thoughts.
Okay.
Yo, I'm glad you're going there. It saves me from having to be the one that brings it up. But
Get it,
please finish your thought or question.
No, I mean that's it. So if you want to share something like what happened there.
Look, I mean, I just think that the Anvil AMM infrastructure is really good for chains that are NFT heavy to get a token economy, because then they can really monetize that token economy. And then my thought is like, if you have a chain, you're NFT heavy, use Anvil AMM for all of the NFT collections, then you have a token economy. You can monetize that token economy and use that revenue to pay for like XP points, or maybe that's like resource farming or something along those lines. And so I was like, hey, Jesus, I've been on your space a couple of times. I think this would help Abstract. Do you want to put me in touch with a team member there? And he did, and I posted what we had, and that was still early. We were just doing like Pub Cup at that time. I obviously wasn't as well known as I am now, and there just wasn't a reply, which is a little disappointing because I think it would have helped. But that doesn't mean I hate the people at Abstract or that I think they're doing a bad job, because sometimes I know it's hard working on a blockchain to filter between what's real and what's not. But that's also one of the issues with crypto is like people care more about what their friends tell them that's good more than the high quality products, and that's not just Abstract. That's all across the board.
Yeah, thanks for answering. Also, for if you are feeling bad because you had a DM from Simple Farmer and you missed it or didn't mint this when you had an opportunity, like maybe take some relief in that you could have had stockbrokers on your chain had you responded to a DM. There's levels to this thing, so it happens. It's not fighting Abstract. We're streaming on Abstract this morning. I think it does happen. I'm guilty. I miss a lot of DMs. I'm way behind now. I can't imagine what Simple Farmers DMs look like. But
to be clear, Cap, it wasn't for stockbrokers. Obviously, that needs stock tokens. It was for the Anvil AMM, the infrastructure that you're seeing that's very successful with stockbrokers for NFTs.
And I think of everything happening. Like, would you agree with me that Anvil is kind of the real secret sauce? Like Anvil's like maybe the most innovative, like game-changing piece here, or do you think otherwise? What we've seen so far
for NFTs, yeah, for NFTs definitely, it's the best infrastructure you can have for an NFT because it gives you the highest ceiling, and that matters.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. Appreciate you bringing the fun and experimentation back, and really enjoying. It's like every day there's something new. I'm not in everything. I've missed some things. I would have liked to got a card wall. I didn't, but it's one I've got a tab pulled up right now, and I might enter if it gets a little a little dip. But between what you're doing natively, what the special partners are doing, it's just, and then all the other derivatives and everyone else that's running with the momentum. I think Robinhood Chain is fortunate to have you. I think Abstract would have been fortunate to have Anvil, but that also is no guarantee. Like Anvil had launched before stockbrokers. It took, like you said, you needed that infrastructure to build what was coming next.
Yeah, and the door is not closed, Cap. Like somebody didn't answer a question that I had a month ago, and now they want to answer. I'm not upset that they didn't answer before. Well, just, to be clear, and the reason it works, just to touch on something, is like the dips become deflation. So we look at like stockbrokers, and I'm just looking at the analytics on the Anvil AMM page right now. There was 26 more activated brokers. That ended up equaling 8 more stockbrokers being permanently locked in the Anvil AMM. That's like, what is that? Like $90,000 worth of tokens. Now there's 833 stockbrokers that can never leave the AMM. It's a good AMM because it builds in revenue and deflation into people's NFT assets.
So play this out. Like, does it create new challenges? If let's say double whammy. Let's say the full launchpad becomes the number one launchpad on Robinhood and it rivals Pump Fund, and Chain Manters becomes Jupiter. And revenue, the fees that are spinning off, the what's already happened gets leveled up 100x, and more they're locked in there forever. Like, how does it, like, does that create new challenges if you do have some of these on the best case scenario, some of the massive success? Does it just, like, in my head, I don't, I'm not the math wizard here, but my head, like, it's almost going to drive down participation because things become so expensive. Am I thinking about that wrong, or how do you think this plays out in the best case scenario in terms of Launchpad and other special projects just have massive success and are generating more fees and revenue than we imagined? Is that created its own challenges?
No, I mean, I think that's the same reason stocks, they have like stock splits, right? It's about that number bias, people feeling like they can get into something, but also we're on blockchain, so that's even easier. And I talked about interns that are coming. That's now something that the art is being worked on.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, and so interns are going to let people have not the rewards flow and the power that a whole stockbroker has, but maybe 5% of it, and that's fun, and that's a much lower entry point, I think.
Okay.
And it's something that I have way more resources now to actually develop than I did with the original stockbrokers. So yeah, that's something that's coming for sure.
Interesting. I know it had been teased before. Is this the first time it's been gotten the official stamp? Yes, this is absolutely happening.
Yeah, it's the first time because I just think it makes sense because I know there's a lot of people who want to be part of our marketing machine, PFPing a stockbroker, and they can't get in. So I want to give people that option, but I need to do it without diluting the original product. So this instead allows the OG stockbrokers to, if they want, create interns and monetize via their interns by just essentially offering up a share of their current marketing rewards pool. So it's cutting the pie into smaller pieces rather than, diluting it.
Exciting. And that was not that that would get too expensive, but I think it's like I see the power in like the marketing rewards. Hopefully you think are worth it because of the marketing you're getting on the timeline. And while yes, people can go get exposure by way of the token, I think that if you want more marketers, you want more people tapped into that marketing rewards. That was kind of what I was getting to, is like a lower entry for something like that. And you heard it here first, guys. Interns are not just a rumor. Interns are coming. And I know you said it's in flight. Do we have not to pry, but do you have a range of like, is this something we might see in the next month, in the next year? Is it a 2027 timeframe?
Yeah, I'll try to get it out within the next month, within a month.
Wow. Okay.
Or 2 months. But the thing is, Cap, is like, but previously when I'm building stockbrokers and all this stuff, I have peanuts as resources. I have nothing. I'm building with my spare money or whatever I can make from trading. Right now, we have these protocol fees. We have resources to work with, and we have connections now too. It's a lot easier. I mean, it's a little OP actually. So doing things like this and doing them on a faster time basis and in a high quality way becomes a lot easier. So I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for interns. I'm excited for the main launchpad to go live. I understand that the process will have its ups and downs, but the mute button on X works really well. Elon killed it with that thing.
That I probably should mute more frequently, but I think my timeline's been pretty well curated, and I do actually think whatever the last algorithm change would happen, whether that's Nikita or they made the changes after Nikita, I think it's had a very positive impact, at least on my timeline. And I'm not only am I enjoying like this ecosystem, I'm enjoying like crypto Twitter is back, like X is back. I'm having a lot of fun, both with tech, with things that are happening, as well as crypto Twitter. I think is in a pretty decent spot. Some of our, I know, another kind of impromptu interview. Really appreciate all of the time that you've given us here on the show, taking all these questions head on, and keeping us updated. What haven't we talked about yet this morning that you were hoping to share? Whether it's keep an eye on this or understand this with stockbrokers or special project. Are there any? I get a two-part question. One, anything we haven't talked about yet, and then the second, or maybe the first question rather. Any other like special projects on deck or that are launching, in the next few weeks or months? Is there anything that you're able to speak to, even if it's just high level, what the concept or idea is?
Yeah, I think what we have coming with Good Vibes Club, what we have coming with Normies, and what we have coming with Weebits are all three different, super novel experiences that are going to be really exciting for the crypto space and the NFT space as a whole. So those are the big three on my mind. Those are going to be ones that are going to take a little longer before they come out, but they're also like really high level stuff, like cool stuff that you haven't seen before in crypto. So I'm excited for those. In the meantime, while the main launchpad comes out, while everything else happens with stockbrokers, it's great if everybody continues to focus on, improving mind share and onboarding, but also watch out for people using the Safe Launch tool that are strong NFT collections or communities. I think you're going to start seeing mints happen through the Anvil that use Safe Launch now as their venue for starting their token trading. So keep an eye out for those type of things, and that'll be on the website. Amazing,
very very cool. And then I guess kind of like my layman's terms, you mentioned like the Safe Launcher closer to like virtuals, Launchpad that's coming closer to Pump Fund, Pawns, more meme coin. Safe Launcher, which launched yesterday, is like if you're building a protocol, if you're building an ecosystem, if you're building something that, whether it's a brand coin or a theme coin or not just a pure meme play, but there's something else there. There's some sort of tie into your ecosystem. There's some form of utility, whether it's an AI agent or whatever the protocol might be. The safe launcher probably makes more sense. If it's just a pure meme coin, probably. I mean, like you could launch that on the safe launch pad, but probably more fitting to launch on the in help with vernacular. What am I saying it right? Like safe launch pad. What is the proper way? Safe launch pad, and then what's the launch pad going to be called?
Yeah, the Stonk launcher is the launch pad, and this is safe launch. And safe launch is an infrastructure piece that's there available for high level teams to use, because these teams otherwise they have to build smart contracts for their raises, for an anti-snipe function. Here they can just get it, and it costs them essentially nothing. And yeah, so it's an infrastructure piece for token launchers. That's the important thing. I have to step away now, Kat. Thank you so much for your time and having me on the show today.
No, my pleasure. Thank you as always. Greatly appreciate you, and thanks for keeping us updated. Can't wait to see what's next. And yeah, I'm going to go explore the safe launch a little more because, well, I'm not going to put a timeline on it, but we're going to be launching a NFT collection here soon with Coffee with Captain. Crowdsourced all of you. Maybe you have to help us. It's not going to be on the launcher, the Stonk launcher, but safe launch might play a role. I don't know, to be determined. Simple Farmer, appreciate you. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And as you know, open invite. You're welcome to come back and join us at any time. Greatly appreciate it. Any other thoughts, questions on Stonk brokers or anything other than Stonk brokers? Drop those thoughts, drop those questions in the chat. I'm going to check in right now with our special guest. We did get a breaking news from Bored Ape Gazette, so I'd love to see that. Coffee with Captain pulling out the alpha this morning. Interns are happening, and looking forward to seeing we got a little a glimpse. Not that he guaranteed or locked in, but maybe 5% of rewards relative to the Stonk brokers. And so if you're on the fence and you'd like, I mean, we talked about it earlier, for those that would like to get in the ecosystem, but yet 8 ETH is just, it's too much capital, or you don't have the capital, or it's too much capital to put at risk, or you're unsure. Could it be another pullback? I don't know. Maybe start DCAing or stacking those, the Stonk broker token, because he didn't say this, but I'm guessing when the interns launch, you're probably going to be able to get those interns. I'm guessing, I'm saying this, I'm guessing it will be require the Stonk broker token. So not only could you potentially build up for a Stonk broker itself, maybe you start stacking some tokens, the interns launch, and you're good. Getting that as your entry into the ecosystem makes a lot of sense. Capo, I saw you had a hand up, and then I saw Boris did join us on stage. Boris, I just realized I did not send you I don't think I sent you the this StreamYard link. Voice only is perfectly fine as well, but I'll drop that in your DM right now with the StreamYard link. If you'd like to join us on stream, you're more than welcome. No pressure though, no obligations. Voice only is perfectly fine, and I can also do screen shares, and we'll walk through some stuff on your site. But that's in your DMs if you do want to join us on stream. Excuse me. The StreamYard link is in your DMs. But again, truly no pressure. Totally 100% optional. Capo, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I just wanted to share some thoughts. Honestly, just a few thoughts. I think pullback is always, it's normal in the space, right? I think those up forever. And if it does, it's like, man, like it's even riskier because that dip is coming eventually, right? So it's healthy. And so I think that what's happening right now is just how can I say it's like so much happening. I don't even know how he pulled this off, but it's like he's all these different tools are coming out. Everything is working together, and everything is meant to help the space and not just help himself. And so and a lot of it's like really like techie. I remember looking at a lot of these launches, like
I don't know, Manser and different things. The freaking white paper was like 30 pages and crap. DJs ain't gonna read that, right? Thankfully, we got AI that can give you a summary. But yeah, man, it's so techy that I think the space is having a hard time catching up, and so they don't quite understand it yet. Like even my collab manager didn't know how to some of the mechanics of the anvil. You know what I mean? So and he's someone who's been involved with me for some time now. And so yeah, man, I know like if he didn't understand, I know a lot of people don't understand yet. Like, the fact that the stockbrokers has a token that's paired with the NFT. When that token goes down, there creates arbitrage, all these little things, right? So yeah, man, it's just an exciting time right now. And I love that we all have these tools to push forward. Like I don't know what would happen if 40 Yacht Club got on a call with Simple Farmer and made something happen. You know what I mean? Just yeah, but yeah. So that's all I wanted to share. I mean, I could say more, but yeah, this is just some of my thoughts.
Yeah, man. No, appreciate you sharing. And again, may not be for you. The builder energy is back, and I think a really fun time to be experimenting on chain. That's for those of you that missed yesterday. That's the drinking game here on Coffee with Captain. I don't drink, but some do. And Zane, I think you're due maybe 4 or 5 shots so far as you head into your 9 to 5. And the other thing I pinned up top before we move on here, bring on our second special guest of the day is, I lost my train of thought. So we're gonna move right into the guest of the day. Oh, I remember. Sorry, I pinned up top so up top you've got all the way to the right is today's space, and then one in from the left. It looks similar. It looks like a Spaces link. It's linked to yesterday's space where another impromptu interview. Sergito, the president CEO of Meebits, joined us and talked a little bit about. Didn't share any specifics, didn't share any details, but gave from his perspective what excited him about this ecosystem, what's being built. And while I think it is exciting, we have these new startups launching, building their tech, building their ecosystems inside of this ecosystem. At the same time, I think it's maybe equally as exciting that you've got not 1, not 2, but 3 established legacy brands that have reached out and want to build in this ecosystem as well. That's pretty cool. These brands are established. They've got devs. They've got the ability, the wherewithal, but they realize what's happening now, and there's real network effects here. And that's part of the beauty of this ecosystem is the tech's there, so they don't have to build the tech. They can focus on what they're doing best, whether it's art or the IP play or other mini games, like whatever they're building as a brand. They don't have to deviate from that and hard pivot into something new, or as someone like say chase the new shiny toy. But they see what's going on. They have different ideas, new stuff, not just like, oh, we're going to launch a third NFT collection, but actually building on DeFi rails. That's really exciting to me. Both the new startups and the established brands. It's not going to be for everyone, but those that do certainly are. It's just like Rec Markets. They're launching on Robinhood chain. I don't think they're going in the stockbroker ecosystem. That's fine. It's also exciting for and they've got. Well, I'm going to hold my comments. I want to keep things moving. I want to get to Boris here, but there's more than one way to do this. There's more than one way to build on chain in 2026. All I would say is do something innovative, try something new. If you're going to fork the stockbroker ecosystem, put your own twist on it. Make something slightly different, not just a low effort copy pasta. But the innovation is very exciting, and can't wait to see what's next. Speaking of what's next, we're going to talk some football here. We do have an It's Called Football show coming up at 10:30. Ben and I spend half the show talking about NFL football, the other half talking about EPL. EPL kicks off on Friday, so you want to get in the It's Called Football show today, so you can join us on the EPL fantasy side. But keeping things here stateside, I am one of my favorite on-chain projects because I am so deep in the in the NFL streets. This is our Builder's Domain, brought to you by Doma. Got a brief 30-second intro here, and then we're going to bring on Boris and talk all things Spoiled Banana Society. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Builders in motion, big ideas, moving out in the open. Screens glow, coffee in the cup, from the stage to the screen, watch it build up. New tools, new rails, new ways to move. Team locked in and the signal comes through. From the first spark to the thing that's real. Tell me what's next, tell me what's the bill, yeah. Tell me what's next, tell me what's the bill, yeah.
This is the Builder's Domain, brought to you by Doma. Go check them out at doma.xyz. We'll have another Doma on air coming up here soon. But without further ado, Boris, GM, it's been a minute. We'll get him right back here in a second. I unfortunately missed the Founders Draft yesterday, but they had Justin Herzog on, who is, I think it was Rolling Stone magazine, called him the best fantasy player in the world. Is that correct? Does that sound right?
Yeah. He got voted #1 like last year. Pretty crazy. I mean, he was like super shocked and happy about it. And I mean, we've had Justin Herzog, which has been pretty cool, like as an advisor for our company for the last like 4 or 5 years. And
I don't know if I knew that. I knew you've done some stuff with him. I didn't realize you were like that deep of a relationship. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like legitimately he's won $1 million prize. He's won Best Ball Mania. Like, the guy is truly a legend in the world of DFS and best ball sports. I didn't realize you guys had that deep of a relationship with him. That's awesome.
Yeah, he owns like a couple % of the company. And what's crazy is that, like, our platform has evolved, right? Of course, this year more than anything. I don't know if it's echoing because my phone is there.
No, you're good. No, that's what you're doing. You're taking the phone. I like when you stepped away.
I was taking my phone away.
Yep, that's it. Yep, just as long as the phone's not right next to you, we're good. Yeah, I don't hear any echo.
Okay, yeah. So like, this year we've like redid our whole site, so many different features, and we did a draft with him yesterday. He was going through his strategy, which is really cool. His brain, because he's won so much, and he was like, dude, like, if I didn't own 1%, I mean, he doesn't lie. Like, he won't just say it just to say, like, I've known him for so long. He's like, dude, I would be in these drafts 24/7 if he didn't own any %. Because, it's really fun. It's easy to draft with. And he says, like, there's so much edge too. Because if you're doing a lot of UD and DraftKings, it's like there's so much edge. There's just so much value in these drafts. So, I mean, hearing it from someone like him, even though he does own some % of the company, I mean, it's just been awesome, honestly. So,
well, I'm glad he's not doing in all these drafts. It
makes
it a little more fluffy for the rest of us. But I agree. I mean, it is not only is there, I feel like, more strategy, it's also different. It's like you can't go to ETR and see their rankings for SBS, and that's part of the fun. It's why I've been talking about EPL best ball, because it's new. No, it's not been solved yet. There's no rankings, there's no simulations, there's no optimizers. And while some people may think they know what the ADP should be, I think that's where the edge lies, because this is not the same. And so like, oh well, this team with 2 great wide receivers, they're a good wide receiver 1. Well, maybe, but if I'd take a good example might be like I like a Drake London. I think is not to give away all my alpha, but I think Atlanta wide receiver 1 is maybe undervalued because Drake London's the alpha. Like he almost that the wide receiver 1 is going to get fed. The volume isn't going to be split 50-50 among CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. There's going to be games where Drake London, the wide receiver 1, probably gets 20 targets. So I think that's how I'm viewing it, is those teams that might have a leaner wide receiver room, even if like it may not be the wide receiver itself may not be as deep, the players are going to get fed, I think, are positioned to do very well in your ecosystem. But I'm not too far off there, right?
No, I mean, like, this is why it's so beautiful. Like, beautiful, like, this is the word, but like, there's just so many strategies, like legit, there's just so many different strategies. And I think Justin was saying the opposite, but he was also saying, right, like,
oh really?
He was just saying, like, if you don't have a second guy that's there, then the chances of like you having those peak moments are just not as, like, you won't have them as much. But he was also saying that, like, I think for him, he was like, dude, as much as I want to be able to grind and know all this information, like, he hasn't put that much time. So he's like, the people that are drafting more and have all these different strategies about it, like, he was like, I'm not going to say that, like, I know more than them. Like, clearly a lot of people have, like, edges and understanding, and like to say that he knows something more than them, like, that'd be crazy. But yeah, there's just so many different strategies. I think that's the beauty of it, right? Like, there's a 100K guarantee prize pool, and the prize pool is good, but like, relative to other fields, like, you're going to play with your chances of winning in those other fields are just so low. No offense. There's so many people, and there is a lot more like, okay, this is kind of what you're supposed to kind of draft, da 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 da. But here, like, you can just go so many different ways of strategy.
Yep. No, so I know we kind of jumped right into it there.
Yeah.
My apologies. Boris,
No,
an OG in the space, great fantasy footballer in his own right, and very deep in the sport, in the game. And one of the things I really truly love about Spoiled Banana Society is it is, I think, a great example where they didn't just put it on chain just to put it on chain and take advantage of some community or network effects here. It really is, I think, a better product. Some may disagree, but it's definitely different than every other best ball product that's out there. I think it's far superior for a few reasons. The different strategy, everything we just mentioned, like, it's not solved. You don't have simulations and optimizers everywhere. But the probably bearing the lead here is these are NFTs. The fact that these teams I've drafted, I can actually now take and sell them on the open market. One of them is actually it's going on right now. I'm in a jackpot league that is, whether it's a good build or it's a jackpot or Hall of Fame, or maybe it's not now, but fast forward 14 weeks and it's like, oh, this team it's been on a heater. It's going to make the next pod. It might be a favorite to win the whole thing. We were looking when we first talked about it last week. I think I saw a team sold for a little over an ETH last year. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I forget exactly, but I would say that, like, number one, I think last year, a little more than even this year, but like last year, if you got into a jackpot league, or you got, for example, like, you won a jackpot like on a wheel, right? So which is like a slot. So if you win it like off a banana wheel, off the spins that we do, you have like the slot. So once 10 people win it off the wheel, the draft starts right away. So you have like a team that you can basically sell before it starts. And those were selling like hotcakes. I mean, like, even for like close to 1 ETH before drafts would start.
Amazing.
So there's stuff like that can happen. And of course there's stuff like which is nuts, where like, if your team is doing very well and it's first place heading into like the last week or heading into the playoffs, then they start selling for a lot more because, there's like very few weeks left of the whole contest. Then they're like willing to put more money into it. And the cool thing about a jackpot, as you know, but other people don't know, which we have that other fantasy football companies don't have, is like, you win your jackpot league, you go straight to the finals, skipping the first 2 weeks of the playoffs. And again, like, the cool part about it is that, like, it's still not pay to win, right? Like, yes, you can like try to spend a lot of money to get into a lot of jackpots, which hold a lot of value, but you still have to do very well. Like, you still have to win your jackpot league to go into the finals. And then even in the finals, you have to still do very well, So we try to add a lot of cool gamifications to make it a lot more fun, basically.
I love it, dude. I love the gamification. I love the differences, right? It's not just the same Web 2 product you throw on chain. It's not just the fact you can sell your teams, but this is very different. And we'll touch on what is a jackpot, what's a Hall of Fame, what are some of these nuances. The wheel, if you're watching the video stream here, this is the wheel, and it's not just when you buy or enter. They're constantly doing daily promotions with their community, and it's a very, by far, in my opinion, the most like participatory or interactive fantasy out there. Not just like amongst your league mates or your draft pod, but back from company or provider to user, and like, I'm sure there's probably, I don't know, I've been playing Underdog for years. I've never joined an Underdog Discord or I see people talking about it on Twitter every once in a while, but I'm not in an underdog community. Like I just draft and that's it. Here, it's like you've built a real community, and there's our guy Risk Brian out there. He's, I don't know, maybe every day for the last month he's dropped his something SBS related in the chat. But you have some like really loyal brand ambassadors. Like part of it is because you are doing so many fun mini activations for your users, not just draft and then maybe you make the finals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we ask ourselves, like, how can we be different? Like, how can we compete with like the big dogs? Because it's tough, right? Like when they have millions of dollars, and you're like, okay, like how can you differentiate yourself? So I think like we do a lot of insane promos, and we try to make it like really fun and interactive. Like for example, like one of the promos we have, like you hit every one of the slots, pick slots in a draft. Like you get pick 1, pick 2, and all 10 of them, and you get a jackpot seat. The first 10 people that hit all of those slots get a jackpot seat. We have match your pick, for example. So like let's say your first draft of a day is pick 5. If you hit that pick 5 again, you can hit it the first try, second try, third try, fourth try, fifth try. Every single time you try it, you can win more spins. So like if you don't get it after 5 tries, you win five spins, 5 spins max. But we just try to make it where like every draft you go into just makes it more fun, right? It's not only about drafting. Like, yes, drafting is the funnest part, but we also try to make it as interactive and as enjoyable as possible too.
You guys are doing a fantastic job. And by the way, the new site looks awesome. Not that the old ones look bad, but this one,
no, it does. No, for sure,
it's really good, very easy to use. And you talk about that gamification, just like I like the packs. That's another thing that this is new this year, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So we try to we know packs with Pokemon and gotchas are just massive now, right? Sorry you didn't.
It's okay. I'm not gonna hold it against you. The fact that it's there, like it's awesome, and that's just you can see it's got a 14 down cooldown on it. Every night at 9 p.m. a new one comes, and it's just like, I beat the drum. I mean, it's been a couple of years, but back in during Mania, I'm like these crypto native brands, these NFT native brands, they really should deploy some of the things that you see in Web 2 that's been successful. I used to use the DraftKings crown analogy, like a daily active user matters. Like bring people back to your site as often as possible, and it just creates a sticky customer. They're more likely to do more drafts, and someone goes and they do their, you're most likely going to get nothing in your pack, but it's free to rip. Like it cost me nothing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there's already so many promos, right? There's already you do 4 drafts in a day, or within 24 hours, you'll get a spin. Like there's so many cool promos you're already gonna get. If you're drafting, you're gonna get all these different things. Like spin the wheel, you'll get cool stuff. But the packs just add another layer of oh my God, can I win something juicy? Can I win something something else? It just adds another layer of to it basically.
Yeah, dude, big fan. I've got some of these promos pulled up here for first purchase. You buy 1, you get 2 drafts free. So the drafts, the entry it's $25. And I'm going to rewind a little bit because I shouldn't just. I'm so deep. I've been playing best ball for years. Big fan. You're probably familiar. I mean, if you've been here, you're probably familiar with fantasy football. You may not have played best ball before. Fantasy football is fun, but it requires you got to pay attention all year. You gotta do trades and waiver claims and set your lineup every week. Like you got to be active at least once a week, if not throughout the week during the season. Best ball, why I like it is you can get a lot more volume, and after the draft, you're done. There's literally no other action you do. Now, if your team's hot and you want to sell your NFT, there's things you can do, but you can't manage the team. You draft a full roster. It's 15 players. You get you hit enter here, it's $25 to enter, $100,000 guaranteed, $25,000 to first place, and I'll draft in a pot of 10, 9 other people. It's a snake style draft. So it goes 1 through, if you have the 10th pick, you get, I'll show you here one of my jackpot draft I'm in. I pulled the 10th pick here. So I had, the 10th pick and then the 11th pick. So it goes snake back and forth. And we'll talk about how the positions are different than most fantasy leagues. But the best ball is basically you draft a full team of 15 players. and then that's it. The computer, the software is going to automatically determine each week who the highest scoring players were, and it automatically puts them in your starting lineup. You draft 15 players, but each week you start one quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a tight end, and then one flex player plus a defense. The flex player could be a tight end, a running back, or a wide receiver. And again, you don't have to manage that. You don't have to guess who's the right, position to start. You will get it automatically done by the software itself. And I think drafting is one of the most fun, if not the most fun thing in fantasy sports. Here you can do a lot of that, and it's not going to be a time suck throughout the season. And hopefully with any luck you may, and also then, so the first 14 weeks of the season think of it as like league play, and you're competing against the 9 other people you drafted against. That's your league. At the end of that, the winner of the league advances to
top two.
Top two in the league advance to the playoffs and into another pod. And then is it top 2 or top 1 in the first round of the playoffs?
I believe it's top 2 as well.
So top 2 then advance again. And basically the playoffs are weeks 15 through 17. Week 17 be at the championship, and that's where the big money's at. So it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of strategy involved, also a little bit of luck. So it's where, while I'd like to think I have an edge over someone who's never played before. Yeah. Steve and I did this last year, and Steve beat me. Steve had better results, and call it beginner's luck, call it RNG. It's fun for a casual. It's also fun for those who are deep in the space. It's another twist on fantasy sports, and I think for someone who chases EV, hard to, with all the promos, and even if I don't have an edge, just with all the promos itself, just keeping it as simple as their first purchase, you buy 1 draft, you get 2 free. You're getting $75 of equity for $25, and probably more, because you're probably going to get a spin sooner or later. Like there's so much they do to help users get more value or bang for their buck. A lot
and
of
all new users get a free spin too. Like that's what free draft. Like you're guaranteed at least 1 draft, can win up to 20 drafts. I think what we try to do that is because it's not easy for someone to try another product, and we want people to come and try the product, and we want people to try to understand and get a feel of it, understand the wheel as well, really get a gauge of the full platform. And if they do enjoy it after the one, then there's other promos to help them with the first purchase, buy 1 get 2 drafts free, and other stuff as well. We have the drop is the packs, basically.
Okay.
So every single day there's 1 jack off, there's 1 Hall of Fame,
that's jackpot and Hall of Fame draft. Get your heads out of the gutters, people.
Yeah, that our community, there are literally for 6 years, they're like, dude, you guys have to put that out there, jack off. You have to, because literally the word jackpot and Hall of Fame together puts jack off. It's just crazy, just works. So you just get 2 perks in 1. That's pretty much what it means. So you just get that, and there's spins that people can win. So every single day, for every draft that you do, you have a chance to, you earn packs, and then you open the packs every night and to see if you won any prizes, basically. And then you do 4 drafts in a day, and within 24 hours, match pick. Also, we have jackpot hit, which is really cool. So basically, the whole thing of our premise is basically the jackpot and Hall of Fame percentages goes up all the time, right? So within every 100 drafts, there's a jackpot that's supposed to happen, and then it resets. And there's 5 Hall of Fames within every 100 drafts, and then it resets. Once it's hit, it resets right away. So the percentages jump. If the jackpot doesn't hit within the 100, it goes up and up and up. And dude, it gets gnarly. Within the last if there's no jackpot within the last 15 drafts, there's 15 drafts happening at the same time. So what we do is people try to chase that jackpot realistically, right? So if there's a jackpot that hits early, so within the first 25 of each batch, we say 1 person in that jackpot draft wins 10 spins.
Oh wow, okay.
Yes, and then we also do if within the next 25 drafts, if someone hits a jackpot, then you get 5 spins. So we basically want people to draft within the first 50 drafts of each batch. when the jackpot percentages aren't like as crazy, basically.
Yeah, very, very cool. You can see right now, for those that aren't watching the video feed, it's currently the jackpot is one will hit sometime in the next 54 drafts. So it started at 1 in 100, and 46 have went without it hitting. So now your odds are 1 in 54. Hall of Fame, as he said, 5 out of 100. There's been 2. So now it's like of the next 82 drafts, there'll be 3 Hall of Fame drafts. Jackpot, we explained it earlier, but in that you win that league in the first 14 weeks, you get a bye in week 15, week 16, and your team jumps straight to the finals, which is huge because it's very challenging not only to win your league, it's very challenging to win your league and then have 3 weeks in a row where your team is performing at the highest level. Hall of Fame draft is there's extra prizes. Can you speak to like what are those extra prizes? Is it set? Is it ETH? Is it what is it a range of different prizes for someone in a Hall of Fame draft? And then I guess when do those extra bonus prizes pay out? How does that work?
Yeah. So it's top 3 prizes. I forget exactly. I'd have to if we go to like enter contest, like so in the beginning, in the front. Yeah. If we go up a little bit, no, go up in the eye. There's the eye right there. Yeah. So it goes. If you go down a little, down. There you go. So those are probably, so those you can win on top of it. And Hall of Fame is a little bit different, where it's cumulative actually. So
Interesting.
yeah, like regular draft, like pro, like basically the Hall of Fame, you can play for the regular prizes, but you also play for these extra prizes on top.
Okay.
And it's kind of a cumulative, not pod, not like like top 2 in each pod, like make it that like the regular contest works, but this is more like a cumulative type underdog contest where it's who scores the most points throughout 17 weeks wins.
And that is first over the 17 weeks of all the Hall of Fame drafts?
Yeah, of all the Hall of Fame drafts. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So I mean, it is still pretty difficult to win that, but you just this is just on top of all the other prizes that you can win. So
yeah, man, you can see too, like you win your league, you win $20, you win the first round of the playoffs, you win $20. And then obviously the big prizes, if you make it to the finals, you can see first prize is 25 grand, second 6K, third is 3,500. And keeping in mind that is there 50 seats in the final?
So the final it usually is around like 120. Last year was like 115 actually.
Okay.
So I would imagine it would be a little more than that for this finals.
Top 50, 26 to 50 is going to win $100 each. But keep in mind, even just making it to the finals, there's going to be bidders out there for that team. Like there's people that are just going to want to sweat, like, especially if it's a solid team and it looks healthy going in there, has good matchups. You're not going to sell it for 25K because if they win, that's all they're taking home. But you might, I get that. I think I saw some in the multiple ETH last year, up over at ETH.
There's also weekly prizes too that we do,
okay,
which is nice. So if you scroll down, I think it shows right there, up a little bit.
Oh, weekly winners.
Yeah.
So 250 each week for first, 100 for second, 50 for third, and that's of all the leagues, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
So if the highest score in a given week out of all the leagues, you win an extra $250. It's just it's a way to where, while you don't have to manage, you don't have to do anything. It's even if your team's not going to make the playoffs, you still could potentially win in week 14. If your team has a big week in week 14, you can win $250, and that's going to 10x your entry. Like it's
exactly. And then what you do is like you can like hold the prize, like it'll show like, okay, this team has this amount of prizes attached to it. And so you can sell the card for even more, and you can or you can go like, we have a marketplace. You can be like, okay, like what are the teams that I want to buy? What teams have won weekly prizes already? So I know those teams are good. Which is really cool, because it's an NFT, because we have our own marketplace. What I'm saying is like, there's money attached to specific teams that you can buy. And yeah, the banana hype is we have like a weekly leaderboard, like a mind share weekly leaderboard. So, the more you tweet about us, the more good content that you post about us. If you have folks like using your link to then buy drafts, you'll get a lot more mind share. But basically we just want, like it's all about you know how it is. Like it's all about getting in people's face these days, right? Like attention economy. And so like we want to be able to be on people's attention on X. So, and we do it in a way where it's like, you know, you can't just like post slop and post, you know, horrible stuff. You'll get literally negative points for it. So we just, you know, we posted this 5 days ago for the first time, and you
Dude,
know,
I love
trying
it.
it out.
This is InfoFi done right. Yeah, I know InfoFi got a bad name because it led
Yeah.
to so much slop, and ultimately the X ended up nerfing the, you know, how that was all being done. You guys have taken that internal and built it specific for Spo Banana Society. But the reason InfoFi became a thing is it works. Like you want people talking about your product, quality content, not just spamming, not AI slop. And here, you know, someone's going to win. First place gets a jack off seat. Second place, second and third also get a jackpot seat. Fourth and sixth get a Hall of Fame seat. Even I just noticed I'm in 36th at the moment. So I'll be. I mean, top 25, I get a free wheel spin that could lead to 20 drafts. So it's like not just the daily check-ins and engagement, but the opportunity to talk about a product that you're excited about and get rewarded for it. Awesome.
Exactly. I think that's it, right? Like I think, you know, when you have InfoFi where like you don't even know what's like, here's a new project, you don't know what it really is. You're just shouting what they want you to do and all that. And you don't, you know, like we have a product, we have fantasy football, we have a guaranteed prize pool. Like there, you know, we've been here for many years. Like people already like know what the value is, you know, and know what they're playing for. So like, you know, we're not here to like, you know, once they tweet, you know, then like for example, a token comes out, then it goes to zero. You know, like we don't have any of that stuff. We have a guaranteed price, but we have stuff that like people can like that's attainable already. So I think the only people that are really doing this, if they already like our contest, right? If they love fantasy football, if they, you know, if they enjoy our platform. So I don't know. I feel like it can work. InfoFi can work, you know, if you already have a good product.
Yeah, and it's, you know, because it's a good product and how you're rolled it out, it's not leading to slop on the timeline. It's people that are giving good takes or actually a good, you know, tutorial or talking about it in a, you know, way that's informative and educational, not just spam slop to you know, to get
I
on the
hate
leaderboard.
that too, because everybody wanted to like, you know, oh my God, I you know, if that word ever shows, like you mute words, you mute all of it, you know, it becomes a lot for sure. So we definitely don't want to have that happening at all, for sure.
Well, I'm super impressed. I'm a big fan. I'm going to be firing a lot more drafts. In fact, I'm playing catch up here. So I've got this jackpot draft going, and I need to make sure I'm in multiples a day. Back to some of those probos, you know, as I mentioned, buy one, get through free. When you do that, we want to make sure you use sbsfantasy.com/captain because that referral is another way to get a free spin. Anyone who signs up and does a paid draft, I think it's a paid draft, I would imagine, using that ref link, you'll get me a free bonus spin. Jackpot, you hit a jackpot, you get a free spin. You pick 10, hit pick 10 in a paid draft, you get a free spin, which I don't mind. I kind of like the term pick. You know, you do 4 paid drafts in a day, you get a free spin in 24 hours. Just a lot of extra ways to, you know, drive more expected value for, you know, something that you're playing. So if you're playing best ball, or if you haven't yet and you want to explore best ball, I think this is a great, like, it's great for those that are deep in the game and let's say, quote unquote, you know, experts, if you will, because it's different and they might be able to find edge. I also think it's a great starting point. It's great for beginners because of the nature of the contest, how you build it, where it is positions as opposed to players. And I don't know if we've hit on that yet. Have we talked about what that actually means, how that works?
No, not yet.
Do you mind kind of explaining? I gotta step out real quick. I'll be able to hear you. I'm just gonna mute my video and I'll be able to hear you. But do you mind explaining, like, versus drafting Brock Purdy, I have San Francisco's quarterback 1 versus Christian in this build here on the left versus Christian McCaffrey, and this is a great example for the 49ers in the substation. But I do care, but it's not going to nerf my season if CMC goes down. I'm still able to score points with that position. Do you mind expanding on that? Explain a little bit, and I'll be right back in about 30 seconds.
Yeah. So the thing that we try to do, you know, we have team position drafting as opposed to player drafting. And I think what that really helps with is like injuries, right? Like there's already so many injuries that happened this year, like off practices, like we just heard like yesterday all these injuries. So like what we do is you get the highest scoring player each week. So if you have San Francisco wide receiver 1, right? Whoever out of all the wide receivers scores the most points, you get, right? So if Mike Evans goes for 40 points, you get his points. If another wide receiver goes for the highest amount of points, you get 40 points. And the cool thing about it is that like there's always someone that's going to score the highest points, right? Like if Mike Evans gets injured, you'll still get the highest scoring points for that week. And it just allows like you to like, your teams to always be live, because I think in most best ball contests, I think the sucky part, and it is part of it, right? Like that is part of fantasy football, injuries, right? But I think for like best ball contests specifically, when you're drafting so much teams, so much equity, I think the ability to, you still have to be right about what you're drafting, right? Like if you believe in San Francisco wide receiver 1 or the team as a whole, you still have to be right? You still have, if you want to draft a lot of that position, you still have to be right at the end of the day, right? Like in that value, but at least like the injuries won't mess you up completely, right? If you're drafting like someone in the first couple of rounds and they get injured, most likely those best ball teams, you're done. I mean,
Yep.
you're not coming back from those, right? But with ours, at least you have a fighting shot, which is kind of what we kind of try to put out there. So
Yeah, I'm a fan. I love the twist, and not just because there's an edge, but I also think like, while I think I have an edge, I also think it's in a simpler game and maybe a game where, a casual, someone who maybe this is the first time I've ever drafted best ball before, they're, still likely to have a sweat in week 14. Even if they don't win their league, they're still live to have the top score that week because their entire lineup is still intact. If in that example of CMC and Mike Evans go down in regular best ball, this team's toast. The top running back, top wide receiver. In this format, it's not.
And again, right, it's not like, oh my God, like, right, like nothing matters, you'll still win no matter what. Like if you're drafting a lot of SF running back 1 or SF, like you have to hit on those. Like they have to still do well.
Yes.
For you to win, which that's the part of fantasy football, of like the skill part of like knowing what you're doing. I wanted to kind of throw this stat in, which is like the craziest stat we've had this year. 75% of our users right now are Web 2 users.
Wow.
So
how are you getting that stat? Is that like how they're loading funds, or
how they're loading funds, what they're signing in through a MetaMask or through but yeah, like it's through the funds that really you can tell. But yeah, like if they sign through a social login through Gmail relative to signing through a MetaMask, and we can just like, you can kind of tell, like you'll have some Web3 people kind of go through the Gmail, like very few, but they will. But you can kind of gauge if they're Web 2 versus Web 3. And our whole time we've been doing this, pushing out this platform, we've said like fantasy football, is one of the best ways to onboard people. People already love fantasy football, right? So making that a way to bring people in, like I feel like we've done it this year where it's very easy for a Web 2 user. We have social login. We moved from ETH mainnet to Base using USDC, and we have Apple Pay, PayPal, Venmo, debit card. Like everything is under the hood now, so people people don't know they're playing Onchain, but they're like transacting using Base back and forth. And I just feel like that way is a realistic way to get people in. And then once they're in our company for a little while, right? They're like, okay, I trust them, and you can kind of like get them into Web3 and noticing like the awesome space that it is, the awesome tech, the great benefits of it, not all the negatives that a lot of people sadly think about it, so
I think I saw something like 7,700 drafts already, so I mean, think about that. If it, let's even just say 70% of those are Web 2 users. That's like over 5,000 people they've onboarded, over 5,000 drafts from people who aren't crypto natives. And because it does, they did use social sign-on because it is so intuitive and it just works. It's a very Web 2 user interface to where, yeah, we know it's on chain, but you don't have to have a wallet. You don't, or privy. You don't have to know MetaMask or Rabby. Like you don't have to know blockchain tech to get on here and have fun and play. This is, I think, the sort of stuff. This is a great example of how consumer crypto products can onboard the next wave of active crypto participants. To your point, maybe a good chunk of those people never leave. All they do is play Spoiled Banana Society. There's others they're gonna sell their NFT and like, wow, they get introduced to Base, and then they find something else that's interesting, and the next thing you know, they're a daily active crypto participant tuning into Coffee with Captain every day. But
hey, let's go.
What I know we got to get out of here soon. I really appreciate your time today, and excited to do some more drafts. I got to ask though, what, like structurally speaking, some feedback on these two builds here you can see on screen. One thing, like from a strategy standpoint, if you're drafting, you're doing a build, you can see like I've got both these have 2 defenses, and I don't know, like maybe 3, 4, 4, 2, 2 in terms of quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defense. That may or may not be our most optimal structure. But one thing that you want to keep in mind is your bye weeks. Even though it is positions, you don't want to draft 2 defenses and they both have the same bye week. If I drafted 2 teams that both had a week 6 bye, I'm taking a 0 that week. Whereas because they're team positions, you really should build a lineup where I'm assuming optimal is to never have a 0. It would be very rare as long as you don't have the same. You wouldn't want to have 3 running backs all with the same 3 bye weeks, because then you're taking a big 0 that week. Try to be cognizant of that when you're doing your drafts. But structurally speaking, then the thoughts on these builds at a high level, I don't know if you can see it, if it's too small.
No, I can see it. I will say, like, RB2s, I probably you don't want.
Go wide receiver 2 instead of RB2.
So there's a big divide right now. Wide receiver 2s over tight ends. And people are drafting like 4 tight end builds right now because you can use it in your flex, thinking that like you'll get more points average wise and more spikes from your tight ends over your wide receiver 2s. And again, this is just strategy. There's different strategies, but I would say for the most part, these are great builds. Like probably most of the time people won't take an RB2. It's just so difficult for that to hit your lineup. But last year, the winner did have 1 RB2. He it wasn't in his, like, it didn't actually matter in his finals. And I don't know that
might have helped him get there.
It might have helped him get there. So it's just more tough, right? You want to like figure out like how often is it going to hit your lineup? It's probably not going to hit it that often, but maybe somehow Chargers RB2 is like the only one that has those spike weeks a lot, and then you win. Yeah. So there is edge with that. Like just say like never draft is kind of ridiculous too.
Makes sense. Well, and not to defend my RB2 here, but I won't take RB2 often.
Yeah.
But I'm telling myself a story. I'm drafting as if I'm right, or this build will be right. And drafting a story, whether it's stacking or in this case, the Chargers are RB2. And I know it's not specifically any named player, but the story I told myself in my head was, Mari and Hampton might go out and have 100 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground or a couple. And then they split Keaton Mitchell outside and he catches 5 balls for 67 yards and a touchdown. And
you're not wrong.
Into the bye
it can easily happen, especially because they run the ball a lot. And, the quarterback likes to throw the ball.
Yep. And I have Chargers QB, so my thought is like, it's like it's a low owned way to build a stack with Justin Herbert, because to your point, most people aren't going to be drafting the RB2, and that's a one in my head where it's kind of a split backfield, not exactly, but I know Mitchell's going to get work and maybe not optimal, but it was just, that makes a lot of sense. But I didn't think about going heavy tight end, so that's a thing. How people are doing like 3-4 tight end builds because they can get the tight end one.
Yeah. It's been like a massive shift. Like I feel like the last like month where they get a lot of people get 4 tight ends. So
I'm guessing when they're doing that, probably not. You can see like this one build has got Raiders or Bowers. The other build's got Bears or Loveland, two elite tight ends. I'm guessing when they're going 4 tight ends, they're probably not taking a tight end early, rather 4 tight end ones.
They're probably. I mean, if they're going elite, they might go 3 then. When usually you probably go 2 max, but they might be going 3 then, just because they want the value, and you can still get a decent amount of good tight ends, like that people don't even draft at the end too, that they might want to stack or, but you know what? Something about, hey, no one wants an RB2, so then go out and draft them more, like not a lot, but more than not, just because what if they do hit and no one else is drafting them? Like,
yep.
Maybe
it's a contrarian play, right? Be different. Where someone like here's another example where I went contrarian. Was the second tight end on this team on the right is Miami tight end one. ADP is 165. That means not getting drafted in every draft. So there's going to be it's more like if this team makes the finals, Miami tight end one is probably going to be low owned because it's not everyone's drafting Miami tight end one. I actually happen to be very bullish on Greg Dulcich. I have a lot of exposure in best ball. And when I was going for like that last pick, same thing with defense. Like if you're going for the last pick in the last round, yeah, you can pick whoever's the top of ADP or scroll down a little bit and take someone who's not getting drafted every draft, and then you have the advantage or the edge of low ownership.
And you stacked it with Miami quarterback too. So I mean, I love it. You know,
I'm a big Willis fan.
Like he was saying, like I don't have to talk more, but he was saying like Atlanta player, like Atlanta quarterback. Like basically no one's drafting them. They're like at the end. And he's like, it makes zero sense. Like if you knew that Tua was only playing, or you knew that, like you would be drafting them in UD or DK like way higher.
Yep.
So like there's just so many insane value hits on SBS that he's just like, dude, like this doesn't make any sense. Like I would be drafting all day, all of them all day.
I love it. Just confirm my priors, because I kid you not, I'm not making this up. The next draft, my plans were to go for, and I don't know if it's right to do it both in the same draft, but in my head, I have actual targets. The next drafts are going to be Atlanta QB1 and Browns QB1. Now, are they great by themselves? No, we don't even know who's going to be starting. But so for regular best ball, it's a toss up. Like it's a kind of a coin flip if it's going to be Tua or Penix in week 15. Same thing with the Browns. It's going to be Watson or Shador or Tyler Green. Here, I don't care.
Exactly.
And because they're so low unowned, if they do happen to have, like, I think the Browns offense is maybe not this year, but I think the Browns is built an elite young core. Like their skill positions, the Fano, their first round tackle looks like a stud. Like if the Browns find a quarterback, I think they're going to surprise some people next year. What if they surprise people this year? And I'm not saying Shador is a good quarterback or Watson's a good quarterback, but both of them could have a 350-yard game with 4 touchdowns. And if I'm the only one who has them, I'm dancing.
Exactly. Love it.
If you have any questions for Boris, drop those in the chat. We might have a few minutes if you want to join us on stage. I do have a heart out here because we have the It's Called Football show starting at 10:30. We'll be talking football. We're also going to talk, since EPL is wrapping up this week, we're going to do a fantasy draft on the soccer side because that locks this week. But we'll definitely be talking some NFL. And we'll have to see if we get Boris on an It's Called Football show here maybe next week. But if you've got questions, drop them in the chat. Feel free to come up here. Boris, before we do wrap, is there anything that we didn't talk about yet? Anything that you were hoping to share or talk about as it relates to SBS that you want to share with the audience today?
No, again, thanks so much for having me. I think this gets just lost a little bit, but again, you haven't tried the platform out. You keep hearing about it, whatever it is, right? Come try it out for free. That's the cool part. You can, check out our platform, try a draft for free. You can ask us any questions. We have a really cool tutorial. So right when you come into the site, there's a cool like animated little tutorial that will flash, and you can kind of see and understand how our contest works, how our platform works, how the team positions work. You can kind of get a good feel. There's an FAQ and stuff, and you can always hit us in the Discord. We also have you can chat with us on our site too. Like we added a thing where you can chat with us there, and ask us any questions. But yeah, man, I mean, I think it's a lot of fun. We added just so many amazing features this year. So if you've tried it before and you're like, okay, maybe it wasn't as cool, whatever, I don't know, but we went ham for 7 months. I worked night in, day out with Claude. Actually, Claude is phenomenal. AI is a game changer. And, I was able to really, really help and innovate a lot of stuff and make it a lot better. We also have an app too, so you can download an app, get the web app, and enjoy it just on your phone as well. So
it's fun,
we
man.
appreciate it.
Well, I really enjoy it. Thank you for bringing fun stuff on chain. Thank you for bringing Web2 participants on chain. Thank you for continuing to evolve and do new stuff. And we didn't even talk about like the badges, like just one other little thing that is, maybe there's never any perks that come with it. Maybe it's just an extra icon that shows you had a jackpot club or Hall of Fame club. But the one thing that is, king of the drafts, basically whoever does the most paid drafts throughout the week wins a crown for the following week. And just a lot of fun. Like, I love best ball. This levels up the fun, especially when you factor in the support you all are giving the community. And obviously I'm partial to it being on chain, and you could do more with it. Like, that's just the end of the day. You can do more with your best ball team here, even though you can't manage it throughout the season. That's the beauty of best ball. It's just there's a lot more you can do on Spoiled Banana Society than you could do on Underdog or DraftKings or any of the other Web2 pure best ball sites. But man, really enjoyed the show today. Thank you so much. We'll definitely be talking SBS here once again before the season starts. But yeah, if you have any questions, they're very accessible. Boris' personal account's on the stage on the audio spaces, so you can go give him a follow. And then the X account, it's sbsfantasy.com. And then the X account is also the same. SBS Fantasy is the X account, right? Yep. Go give them a follow. Shoot him a DM if you have any questions. Community is also extremely helpful. Brian's here every day, and I don't think he's an advisor or a paid team member. He probably could answer most questions you might have about the site and the league and the gameplay. He's a big fan, and I'm getting some. I know I've got a few drafts in there. I'm getting some FOMO. I need a lot more. Oh, is there a max? Is there a max enter per?
There is no max.
No max. Okay. All right.
Just because of how small our contest is relative to the other contests, we don't have a max.
No, but dude, I love it. Congrats. Site looks great. Congrats on. I know it's early, but it looks like, with weeks to go, it looks like another successful year for you guys, right? You're definitely you're not gonna have overlay. Like, you're gonna at least cover your guaranteed prize pool and then some.
Yeah. I think so. And again, most people still I think are just getting into starting to draft. We have a marketing campaign that we're gonna try to do with base as well, just because we're on base. We have a lot of things cooking. We're going to do a lot more spaces. We have another spaces with Justin next week. We just have a lot of other planned stuff that we're just going to push the throttle the remaining 3.5 weeks. And yeah, man, hopefully we'll get more than the guarantee prize, but if not, then yeah, we'll hit this. And then one thing that is just really exciting, just one last thing, is that we're finally going to be able to have in-season contests. And that's the goal. We're finally going to have in-season contests, playoff contests.
Oh, wow.
Different sports and stuff like that following.
Do you think playoff contests will have this season?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Well, book it then. Let's have you back on before playoffs, when you go live with that. Extending the invite. Would love to have you back on. And I think that'll be great. So
thank you so much. All right.
Good stuff. Thank you all. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate you, Boris. Appreciate the Spoiled Banana Society team. And this was another segment of The Builder's Domain. Took me a second. My brain wasn't fully clicking. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back on my account and the It's Called Football YouTube channel. We'll talk. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about SBS on there. Did a draft last week, so not going to do another one today as we shift our focus to a soccer fantasy draft. But yeah, more coming soon. Thanks everyone for being here. This was The Builder's Domain, brought to you by Doma. Go check them out at doma.x.
Builders in motion, big ideas moving out in the open. Screens glow, coffee in the cup, from the stage to the screen, watch it build up. New tools, new rails, new ways to move. Team locked in and the signal comes through. From the first spark to the thing that's real. Tell me what's next, tell me what's the bill, yeah. Tell me what's next, tell me what's the bill.